We lost. True indeed. We lost. Lord knows we lost. I'm about to say something to make you not like me. You might catch feelings and you might want to fight me, but I don't really care, I'ma say it anyway. Why most committed guys seem soft and gay. I'm not saying all, but a large amount. Have you ever heard the words that come out of their mouth? Yeah, they cuss like a sailor, but they follow my eye. They carry unks and wear makeup and thinking it's hot. I think they need to stop, this is a new era. I wonder if the pharaohs ever wore mascara. It probably was a death mask misunderstood. Don't let them D-boys catch them up in the hood. Why NOI? Stop patrolling the block. We get shot by the cops and we calling the cops. Come on, y'all was on another level. The black man was God, the white man the devil. Now the white man, or better yet the European, and the Mars and the bean pies are sold by Koreans. I'm talking what I'm seeing, I'm just a reporter. How you call a woman to be and you got a daughter. Talking about the Hebrews, the demonized women, and choose Esau over brothers and kin. Probably timid, soft, and scared to fight. Yelling and wearing spikes, trying to fake me out right. But you can't fool me, cause you make a little noise. Cause deep inside, y'all some scared little boys. If you really wanna ride, let's take it to the beast. Get revenge for our people killed by the police. Yeah, right. Y'all ain't busting the grape. It appears that you fear you in love with hate. Correct me if I'm wrong, we might all don't get along. European psychology got us all gone. You think we divided? Cause I wear fez and she wear oak and he wear dreads. But the vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to wake you up and get you out of the bed. We lost. To get you out the bed. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head. I'm here to spread love and get you out the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. Wake up. I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. Oh yeah, I'm here to spread love and get you out of the bed. Y'all think we divided cause I got a fez and you wear and she wear dreads. Y'all think we divided cause I wear fez. The vision don't start there, it starts in the head. And she wear and he got dreads. Moors need to wake up too, so I'ma wake up you. So we can get together, do what we gotta do. We ain't done much since the prophet left. More standing on law, we still in this mess. Haven't built the town to hold us down. Paperwork can't fear, we looking like clowns. Never been to the temple, claim we follow the prophet, but I follow the prophet. I understand logic. People in the temple, time to hit the streets. Everybody do their part, we ain't getting relief. The murder rate can be more than just gone crazy. Dope fiends ODing in the hood on the daily. Weed waste with chemicals, you drink and serve. We fighting over information, we got some nerve. They say that we conscious, we might know a little something, but we just front, cause we haven't done nothing, we lost. You think we divided, cause I got a fez, and she got a cross, and he got dreads. You think we divided, cause I got a fez, and he got an and he got dreads. You think we divided, cause I got a fez?
Yeah, Islam. I'm trying to be your friend, man.
That's right.
Trying to be your friend, bro. Help me out. Meet me halfway. Come on. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. Now let me be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. You let me be your friend. Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm all about love, truth, peace, and freedom. Till I return to Allah. One day we gon' meet him. I'm all about justice. That's the focus of the message. Sometimes Asiatics make me wanna forget the lessons. I be all up in my passion from all the Moorish passion. All things considered, I start laughing. A grown man with a ponytail, another calling us Neanderthal, and he all pale. I mean, for real, this is what it come to, my brother. We got nothing better to do than talk down to each other. Yeah, we could be scholarly, or we can get gutter. We are the children of our father, and the breast of our mother has nursed us all. Welcome to another edition of Morse World TV. I am your esteemed host, Brother Taharka Bay. Tonight we're going to have a presentation for you. I want you to sit back and relax. We have a very interesting show tonight, and I want you to just sit back and relax and recline. And do you have your popcorn? Do you have your kombucha? Do you have the things that you need to get lit? First of all, we beef from our team trying to murk us all. You need to chill, my brother. Tell the elder the same, cause on the real, my man, I'm really about them things. I can take the feds off and get back in the low and return to the state where they used to call me dope. But no, I'm rolling with the prophet of the law. I want love, not war. Standing on that floor, and I'm holding the square. The compass and the axe that might be too deep. Yo, let's not get off track. See, I prophet. Family, this is going to be one to remember. Man, I'm ready to get started. Y'all ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. Oh, yeah. Sean, this one makes me do the robot. Was an adapt, do you know what that is? An Egyptian adapt is a brother who lived by the universal science developing the knowledge. We call it Islamism, but it's the same, my child. Set at the foot of a master. Big Shirley is next door, but there is no show like this. Big Shirley is next door. You're welcome to go and listen to that garbage, but this is where we get lit. I train you up, but I might have to bang you up. I still love you, and those that's talking that this ain't Islam. Everything the prophet brought is in the Quran. All the other stuff, prostrate and cover up, is just the start. Did you watch the show last night? Did you know Brother Baba, quote unquote, Babu, said he knocked her down? What? And there's space to me, the law's the heart. You can dress like Imhotep, but you can dress like an herb. I wasn't misogynistic when I was knocking it down. You can say what you want about Dr. York, but he gave you different variations of the same thought. You don't appreciate that. You won't appreciate me. Appreciate the holy and divine Drew Ali. People, I know y'all expect this old cut, clean, grand sheet, but I'm telling you, I find things funny too. That's what I'm saying. I find things funny too, and that one was funny there. I'm not here to judge whether it was right or wrong, but I will tell you, it was funny. Refused to admit it, he the first that ever did it. Europeans hoped that the Moors would forget it, but we here, strong, alive and well, resurrected from hell, with a story. Again, I ain't here to judge whether it's right or wrong. In fact, I will judge whether it's right or wrong, but I won't say, but I'm not here to pass condemnation, because that ain't my place. But I will tell you, it was funny for real. So pay attention and listen and consider the facts. You know it's humanly impossible for you to be black. I guess a Chinaman is yellow, a Mexican is brown. Just think for a second how ridiculous it sounds. We can turn Toolbox Evolution. Did you see when he said that? Yeah, she called me misogynistic, but she didn't say that when I was knocking it down. I said, this is a family show. Around, but we must unite. It's okay to disagree, but we don't have to fight. Cause if we have to fight, you know how we get. I'm still learning to love. No, I'm not there yet. So work with me, fam, and I'ma work with you. And let's all work together and do what we gotta do. Cause on the real side, we haven't made. All right, all jokes aside. I said, this is a family show. What you doing, Babu? But it was funny, though. Listen, let me tell you something, right? Real quick before we get started, let me tell you something. I don't really think my wife found it too funny. I'm going to tell you. Man, listen, when I used to go back and forth with the Moors, my wife used to feel sorry for them. You know what I mean? Brothers like, it was a brother named Lord Abba. Man, I used to just drag him, and she said, leave Lord Abba alone. You know what I mean? And she feeling sorry for GMJ too. I think she want me to leave John Master, Grandmaster, whatever his name is. Just leave him alone. It's the gift that keep on giving. So let's get it. Now here we go.
Man. God damn, John Fitzgerald Johnson, why'd you fuck up so much?
We're all not gonna be together. This ain't no damn unity party with punks. This ain't no unity party with people who don't want the true liberation. This ain't no unity party with betrayers and snitchers and hypocrites and weak-minded, weak-blooded, spineless black people. This ain't that kind of party. But those who want liberation.
They mad when I said about the Grandmaster. But little did they know he working for the slave master, slave holder. The European game got a little bit colder. Keep sleeping, he gon' fold ya. Can't y'all see he creating leaders? They walking around with them heaters, and y'all still waiting on Jesus. Oh no! I'm the flesh and blood of the law. Ain't worried about none of y'all. Drop this flesh and grab another God. I done told y'all that I'm coming back. I came back in that whirlwind. I'm back now. I done that. Y'all remember that I told y'all, well I'm back now. It's time now to organize them soldiers. Hannibal, Allah, all praise due. It's a law will, Allah give life, but right now, Allah kills. You got a guy sitting up there.
I think we're gonna get right into it.
Got a nerve to call most crazy, but y'all supporting agents. Man, it's so amazing how consciousness is fading. Hustlers, dope boys, hot girls, go hard. Thoroughbreds, true freedom fighters, falling for this lame fraud. Hustlers, dope boys, hot girls that go hard. Thoroughbred, true freedom fighters, falling for this lame fraud.
You walk away from these punctified Negroes. And let's unite.
Thou art the man. Fix it, John. Fix it. Fix it, John. Fix it.
Hard, thoroughbred, true freedom fighters, falling for this lame fraud.
You walk away from these punctified Negroes.
Thoroughbred, true freedom fighters, falling for this lame fraud.
You walk away from these punctified Negroes. 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 And let's unite.
Thou art the man. Fix it, John. Fix it. Fix it.
Soldiers, Hannibal, Allah, all praise is due. It's a long will. Allah. I be that more you gon' remember. Be more. I be that more you gon' remember. That town. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. L.A. I be that more you gon' remember. New York. I be that more you gon' remember. Tahaka Bay front line till the law call my number. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I am your host, Brother Tahaka Bay, and I'm here with Desert Eagle. Family. This is going to be a show to remember. Let me say this. First and foremost, I know many people want to take this as just a show, but it's really it's a little bit more than that. I've spoke with Brother Desert Eagle off camera. It's a little bit more than that. It's really that two people have concern and love for our people, and I still hold my position as to who and what Grandmaster Jay is, and I think today Brother Desert Eagle is going to tell you his position as to what, who, and what Grandmaster is to him. I will say this, but I know he can speak for himself because he's very eloquent and he's going to hit you straight to the point. I will say this. I want to say that he's not coming on here as we have seen disgruntled people from NFAC come to Morse World TV. The likes of Delta that was mad that Grandmaster Jay didn't pay him his $2,000 a person reached out to me to come on Morse World TV. I want to make it clear. This is not that. And I don't want to throw Delta in the mix, but I have to paint the picture to give an example that this is not that. The understory, or the story that you need to know is that, and I said this on the show and I be giving hints to it all the time, there is many people who are part of within the ranks of NFAC that do have real love for our people. And those that are within the ranks of NFAC do have real love for our people. They're not stupid. They're not crazy. They're not following a buffoon. They're hoping that Brother Jay would get it together. That's the fact of the matter. But in the process of hoping that he's getting it together, there is a few that says, man, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to stick around and make sure that those are half of sleep. And this what somebody has told me, those that are still rocked to sleep, they don't get taken down the river. However, they still have a concern with the inconsistencies that John Fitzgerald Johnson have presented to the people. And this type of concern have led, I guess you would say, them to me and me to them in relationships that we fight on two different ends. Now, this is not the case with Desert Eagle. I haven't met Desert Eagle until a few days ago when I played the clip of him. In fact, I played a clip of him before that day. I didn't know it was him, and he remained silent. I didn't even know it was him. And y'all will hear that clip sometime in the future. But I play anybody disrespect. I'm putting y'all. I'm telling you, anybody disrespect right now. I'm gonna ask the monitors to go ahead and block them immediately. If you want to listen to the interview, you're welcome to listen to. But if you disrespect my guests, I'm telling you, you're blocked immediately. Go make another fake account, and that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you can go make another fake account. I'm gonna block everybody. I want everybody, anybody that talk crazy about Desert Eagle, block them immediately. Don't put them in timeout. Just block them. Period, point blank. And every time they make a fake account, block them again. They're gonna have to make fake accounts because they're gonna be blocked indefinitely. So I'm asking everybody to do that for me. Kind of lost my train of thought, but what I wanted to say is that it's people that are part of NFAC. I could not do this without people concerned. There is no way that Desert Eagle would have reached out to me if I wouldn't have produced that tape. Mm-hmm. I produced something that he like, how did you get that? Because people are concerned. I'm telling you, Desert Eagle didn't. He was as surprised as everybody else. In fact, there was a tape that I released, a soundbite before, if you watch the show. I meant a couple clips, and he never said anything. He's always been in the back because I never knew who he was. So with that being said, let's get on with the conversation. But I really, and I'm going to make this disclaimer in the middle of the show too. He is not here to bash Grandmaster Jay. He is not here to try to boo-hoo and, oh, why me? I've been played. I gave you some money. You didn't give me no money. It's not that, oh, I want to be coming on the camera with my mask on and be you. This is not that. And I want to do that disclaimer. But with that being said, Brother Desert Eagle, welcome to the show. I know people going to be mad at you and they're going to be mad at me, but I know that you're a stand-up guy. But let's start with this, brother. What was your position in the NFAC?
With all due respect, Tahaka, let me do
You
something.
get stuff from the beginning. Come on. I'll leave. The floor is yours, brother. I'm
Okay.
not.
All right, let me do this. First of all the communication that I've had with you so far has been absolutely gentlemanlike. It's been respectful, no matter what the time. You know, I've reached out to you when I first heard about everything in the wee hours of the night, and you responded. So I know a lot of people say things about you. I've heard things about you. I don't know you. So the interaction that I've had with you so far has been respectable. So I say this, let me start by this and just bear with me to give context and give understanding why I'm here. When I was in the military in the early 90s, I received a phone call from my aunt. My father, who I did not know, was dying of cancer and AIDS. He got AIDS through a blood transfusion that they did in the early 80s before they was testing because of a car wreck. And colon cancer is just one of those things of life. And she called me, and I had to be Carson Wagonlit Red Cross to North Carolina, Selma, North Carolina. When I went to see this man, a man who I didn't know, he couldn't speak. He was blind in one eye, and he must have weighed all of 70 pounds. Literally, flesh was hanging from his skeleton. And while I was there, I was only there for a week. Within that week, he passed away. The last day of his life, his wife, who I met probably for the second time in my life, and I met my brother for the first time in my life. He had another son. He was about 3 years old. The last day of his life, she realized that he was really despondent. He wasn't really moving anything. We put him in a car and we went to her mother's house, and we dropped off my little brother, and she went inside to get her brother so we could take my father to the hospital. And while I was in the car with him. I was driving, and he was in the back seat in the fetal position with a robe on. And we was just sitting there in the car. And I happened to look back, and when I looked back in between the two seats, his one eye and my eyes, they locked. And when we locked eyes, we were just staring at each other. It was a weird moment. And literally right then, he took his last breath. There's a sound that I cannot duplicate, nor will I ever forget. I knew he was dead. When his wife came back outside to the car, I just told her, "Hey, Vanessa, just take me back to the house. I don't like hospitals. My brother died in the hospital. I don't like it." She's like, "You sure you don't want to go?" Yeah. And the reason, I just didn't want to hear all that screaming. My husband, I just didn't want that. So I realized at that point, I didn't realize then, but as I've gotten older, I realized on that day there was 2 deaths. See, my father died in front of me, but when he died, I died, because the only chance that I got to define myself from the source in which made me has left me. And see, so I'm here today because as a man who grew up undefined and I had to make my own way, I'm a father now. My son is 14 years old. And now that I've been exposed and brought out here to, I guess you could say, public comment, public reveal, exposure and such like that, it is imperative that I represent myself and define myself, because my son who comes after me inherits my definition. So I could not leave it up to any man or any public that is my stranger to define me in this moment. So a lot of people are going to hear things and make comments and this, that, and the other, but I felt it was necessary for me to represent myself, because this is a digital staple that's going to be out there forever. And my son is going to inherit whatever comment, character, or depiction is made after me. And I felt it was necessary that I lead the narrative in my own definition. That's why I'm here.
Brother, you ever think about running for president?
No.
Because no, brother, I'm just saying, brother, I feel you, and I think anybody who's listening could actually feel, as we say in the More Science Temple of America, feel in the ethers or the spirit of where you're coming from. Now back to and everybody said much respect for that. Absolutely, brother.
Right.
Yeah, that like shake the spirit, brother, because it's real. What was your position in NFAC?
Well,
Your
my position.
final position in NFAC, and we're gonna work our way back.
Okay, my final position was Lieutenant General, second in charge to General JMJ.
You were the second in charge.
Absolutely.
Wow. And without giving up too much, because if some people still believe that this is a true military outfit, I don't want to seem to be giving up too much. But what is your duties as that? If you may give us a little idea of what your job description was.
Well, the job description, for the most part, is not the description is not as what it sounds like, because for the most part of me being the second in charge, we were idle. So there were elements of the organization once he came out of his ordeal and got bailed out that he handed over to me. However, even though he handed me over those positions, there was no, I guess you could say, transfer of tangibles. So like, for example, he made me head over admin, head over finance, head over training, head over all of these different things. All right. But there was no transfer of tangibles in order for me to enact those things at all. So for a long time, like I said, we was just idle. I mean, at most, the biggest thing that I did was either add commentary or suggestions during commander meetings or things like that. Or when he called me personally, we would engage in certain matters and stuff like that and talk about organizational things to do moving forward. But there was not too many, I guess you could say, call to action duties that was done in the parameter of second in charge.
So is it safe to say that there was and this whole story remind me of some of the experiences, and I've told you off camera, it remind me of some of the experience in the More Science Temple of America, or those that are called that. Many people just have phone calls and they don't have any operative authority, if you will. They don't have any operative authority, but they have these titles, and these titles give them some sort of pride of being a member of the More Science Temple of America. But many times it's just phone calls. Would it be safe to say that anytime that y'all was having many phone calls as to trying to build it, if you will?
Well, it's not so much that, and in respect to what he was going through, a large part of it was in light of the representation that he needed for his case. It was just the wisdom of things to just move quietly. So pretty much our direction, even though I was second in charge, I was second in charge of as a general, but my chief assignment was state chapter commander of Georgia. So the business of chapter affairs still continued to go on, set up trainings, do things, that kind of thing. I'm not going to go into all the details of the workings of the organization, but let's just say it was all about handling your day-to-day business in your chapter. So as far as the organization itself, it just kind of laid low while he was going through his preliminaries and everything in court. That was the wisdom decision behind that.
Right. When did you actually become a member of NFAC? How did that happen? Let me say this to everybody. He actually says that in his message to Grandmaster Jay, that is about a 45 minute recording that is not public, but you also can see it, and the link is in the chat if you want to go see it, but it's not for everybody. You have to subscribe to a channel to see it, and it won't be public unless Desert Eagle say you might as well let it go now, or he said no, just leave it back there, and I'll leave it back there. But with that being said, when did you become an active member in NFAC, if you will?
I became an active member. Okay, first you asked me how did I become. I was in South Carolina, in the Moncks Corner area by Mount Pleasant and stuff like that, Charleston area, and I was doing some business affairs, and I just so happened to catch it on my phone. I caught the Stone Mountain mobilization. I'm like, what's this? What? I mean, it resonated with everything of who I am. I mean, family and friends know, and I've always been somewhat militant. So it definitely resonates. So I did some research. I'm like, who's the head of this? And he was talking about facts over feelings. And trust me, that term alone, a few of my relationships would definitely, y'all must be brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not an emotion, damn all them emotions, whatever. But anyway, so what I started doing some research on IG, and the first two people that I engaged in conversation with was K Faust and Ozone. I mean, it was like a kind of like an instant brother. It was a chat in IG. I forgot what it was called. It's long been, I guess, over with or whatever. But they was the first two people. K Faust was telling me, he introduced himself, and he was telling me how he built weapons and everything. And Ozone, Ozone, he's very animated. Yeah, look what I got. Look at you guys. And I was like, what, we playing show and tell? Let me show you. And he's like, look, son, look at what he got. So it was a beautiful thing. So at that time, there was a formation called for Louisville, but because of my business schedule, I could not make it. And I was like, damn, I couldn't reset some things. So what I did, I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this, and I want to make sure the ancestors record me being there. So if I can't be there, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be there in spirit and deed. And I got on that same thread, and I said, anybody in Atlanta, if you want to go, I'll sponsor you. I ain't know none of these people. I said, I'll sponsor you. Your whole ride. All right. Because I want the ancestors to record me being a part of this. I see where this is going. I want to be a part. And it was maybe about 7 or 8 of them. So I gave them 2 vehicles. I paid for the gas, hotels, food, everything there and back. Because I wanted the ancestors to record my presence there, even though I couldn't physically be there. And since then, I attended the first chapter meeting. I think it was late July, early August, and I've been riding ever since.
Indeed. Did you, I just got to throw this in there. Were you aware of the videos that I started doing, or did any of it? Because I know you, just from the few conversations that we had, I know you don't really do social media like that. Or anything like that, but so you wasn't never aware of anything like that?
No, I've never that one thing about me. I'm just so busy. Some people follow some of everybody, and they know this person's YouTube, IG. This I'm ignorant to everybody in the movement. I will be very honest with you. I am just a servant of my people. I love my people, but I'm a spiritually rooted person. I believe in what the Bible says, not so much to the letter, but the scriptural and principles of be not of many masters. You can't be eating off of everybody's plate, because that's confusion. This person says this, and remember all of these YouTubes, IGs, this, that, and the other, they're opinionated based shows. They're not necessarily factual. It's perspective. So you're eating all of these different opinions and perspectives, this, that, and the other. Then how are you centered in stability? You got too many masters feeding you thought. So I myself, I don't deal with it. I don't. I don't deal with it. Not at all.
Have you ever heard of any inconsistencies of Grandmaster Jay as it relates to him being not who he say he is? From a public perspective, not from, the NFAC perspective, but, from a public perspective, like, hold up, he said he had 8 Grammys or something goofy or silly like that.
Here's the thing with that. Now, when he first got out of jail, if you ever have anybody else on here from NFAC, they will tell you the relationship that me and him fortified with one another is unique. It's not the same as the other commanders, or I would dare to say anybody else in NFAC as far as I know. Truly, we're like brothers, Johnson brothers. Like, we call each other on each other's shit. That's what it. And not to move from the question that you just asked, I just want to lay something out for the people to understand. This recording that some of you have heard, some of you will hear, this is nothing more than brother to brother conversation. And me talking to him is in a tone that him and I have developed a rapport for. We can talk like that to one another. That's what we do. We have, no disrespect to your show, me and him have very conscious moments, and sometimes we have that nigga moment. Oh yeah, we get into the motherfuck yous. But at the end of it all, it's like, hey, let me tell you a joke. It's not toxic. Like we hate each other. So what I did in that video, and I'm not going to elaborate too much. I'm gonna let you ask the questions as we go along. But what that video was is one brother trying to admonish his other brother, like, hey, bro, there's some things that you and I both know that I've been looking, and in your best interest, you need to correct.
Indeed. So I'm just responding to the chat. Was there anything in the chapter that you was in that because it's from my perspective?
No, wait. Let me answer you. Be courteous and answer your question as far as to him personally. Here's the thing. I definitely understand, because I set up a protocol before I knew him or ever talked to him. Very early on in my chapter involvement, I set up a protocol for anonymity. All right, because as a student of history, we know how this goes. That's what the intel is. Inside, somebody is telling. So the more that we put ourselves in ignorance of one another, the safer we are. One of the first protocols I had, monikers. Then I actually put a social media protocol. Don't like any page or picture that has anything to do with militia that has a hashtag. That's how algorithms and things like that are tracked. All right. Don't like anything. Even when he told us to, even later on, when he told us to post things relative to the encouragement of people giving him the attentions needed for his case and stuff, I told him, you can post, no words, no hashtag, and remove it in 24 hours. See, I'm all about anonymity. At this point, unfortunately, I am here because that respect and that virtue of anonymity went out the window, and I've become exposed by negligence.
Wow.
So as far as him being a personal person, him not divulging his background was of no never mind, because for me, it was all about the cause. You know what I'm saying? It would have been interesting conversation. Hey, what's your background? Where you from? Did you grow up in the hood? Whatever, was you a prep school boy? Whatever the case, he gave us the information that he felt was pertinent as a leader for us to have. Unfortunately, when they came into the picture and snatched him up, they released a whole lot of things that brought about a lot of questions. And I was the first one. Well, maybe not the first one, I don't know. But as soon as he got out, me and him had a personal conversation. And I told him, listen, the information in which they divulged about you is quite damaging. Even some of the sisters were concerned about whether or not he had that same disposition as they painted him out, as far as things happen with his ex-wives and stuff, tempers and stuff like that. Wait a minute. Even those of us who were in service were getting mocked by either other militias or people in our families, friends. How could you serve that? Wait a minute, aren't you a military woman, military man? Wasn't you highly decorated, and you following a man that got kicked out of the service? You mean a buck private is now prancing around like a general? These were the insults that made it now uncomfortable for us. So what happened is I talked to him and said, you got to get out in front of this. You got to give us something. You got to make yourself plain. Make yourself human. Express to us. Have that private Ryan moment. I'm a school teacher. You know what I'm saying? Break it down for us. Become real to us. All right. You still have the title, but now just become plain. Become plain. Become real. Become tangible. That we can be like, yo, we got a true relationship with a true man here. Not an image. You know what I'm saying? Not an avatar. No, we don't need you hiding right now, because we're taking blows and assaults. And some of us are intelligent. and people are looking at us like, now riddle me this. How are you following? Wait a minute, sister, wasn't you abused? How are you following a man that beat up on his wife? And you see what I'm saying? So it became like that. Unfortunately, even he's never dealt with it. And that's his prerogative. Hey,
I've never mentioned that. All the videos that I've done, I've never mentioned that on this show, not one time. Only thing I've ever looked at is the disingenuous perception that he has presented to people. You know, the fakeness. I've never mentioned that because I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? You know, those authorities, they'll play these games and they'll put stuff out there. And I think it would be in the best interest for him to respond to what they threw out there.
right.
With that being said, he never addressed his drop of rank and being exiled or kicked out of the military in no way, shape, or form. Did he speak on it any way? Because you sound a bit outspoken, like you would ask. It seemed to me that you would say, well, what actually happened? Were you kicked out? What was your rank when you kicked out? What's happening?
Here's the thing. Yes, in some ways, yeah. It's one of those things where you don't want to waste too much time or belabor a point that you know is going nowhere.
Right.
All right. A lot of the commanders saw me as, I guess you could say, an antagonist, like, because I would speak out about everything. All right. But there's a reason to that, and we'll get into that later. But to his fairness, I understand. I mean, he's facing something big. He probably didn't want to have that level of exposure. The way is like this. I'm building a relationship with my people. All right. They've come out to formations and done things, this, that, and the other. Maybe in due time. All right. I will reveal myself. However, he never got the chance for us to know him through his testimony. It's those who hit him, who arrested him and stuff like that, was telling his story. Thus, that's what I'm saying. Why I'm here. I want to define myself before someone else defines me and have my son inherit that definition. So what he was exposed to was other people defining him. And we understand, and the quandary is, we know what they do. They put spin, conjecture, lies, and suppositions on your name to make you out to be something so that they can guarantee certain victories. So we was, you know, it's almost like, is this true? Maybe they just fucking with him. You know what? Fuck it. You know, it just got to a point where it's like, if he ain't bringing it up now, even though he never to date never gave response to that curiosity and that concern about the things unearthed and exposed never went away. To this day, it's still there. Many people have defected and said, you know what? There's too much here. You know the cliche, if there's smoke, there's fire. That's why there was a great falling away. We know, students of history, people didn't fall away because the feds got involved. People fell away because of what they heard after. I can't remember what it's called, but that, I guess you could say, the information on the docket and stuff like that, that was being passed around all the chapters like crazy. Everybody was reading that. The last 2 pages of that, whatever it's called, everybody was reading that, the history of John Fitzgerald Johnson. And everybody was like, what the fuck is this? Who is this guy? You know what? Some have told me, Commander, something don't look right. I'm out. Good people. Good people. And I've heard this in various chapters. And I told them.
Were you around when he made the in fact, before I get there, were you there in Louisville when the gun went off and the members got shot? You wasn't there?
No.
Were you aware of the video about the bullpup and all of that? Are you in any way have some type of knowledge of firearms?
Yes, somewhat limited. You know, I've never been a full gun enthusiast as those who actually study weapons for the art.
Ozone. You ain't like Ozone.
Oh no. Respect due to my
Ozone going to be on the show probably tomorrow around 3:00 too. So I just wanted to drop that out there since I dropped his name. But Ozone, he'll sit up there like.
Right. Him, Locks Loaded, K-pop. Yeah. That's their thing. I'm not a gun enthusiast. Now, I let's just say I have my share of groceries, but I'm just not an enthusiast. I took a course while I was in the infantry. Weapons. Not I forgot the course, but it was weapons knowledge. I trained on Israeli weapons, Russian weapons and stuff. When I was younger, I was more into that, but since then, it's not been that big of a deal for me. So
you the bullpuck thing didn't jump out to you like that?
No, but see,
because I didn't know nothing about it either. I literally had to watch a video to understand it. Listen, I'm from a place where you turn it sideways and let it go. That's all I know. That's it. I'm keeping a buck. But once I watched the video, and I watched the brother, an Asiatic man, he was jamming the gun. He said, "Oh no, see, doesn't fire. It doesn't fire when you're jamming." I'm like, man, why? And he stood on that video so matter-of-factly that, and when you go like this, pow, people die every day in the military. In basic training, they send you a flag home and they say, here, he died of a gun mistake. Like, what?
Well, see, here's the thing with that. Yes, okay. The bolt will slam to the front, but it won't fire. That's not an engagement of a fire pin. It will not, shoot out a round. The bolt will definitely slam to the front. Now, how sometimes information gets crossed, and I'm not defending him or whatever. What he said is what he said. But as far as the military, yes, I was in the infantry. People get run over by Bradleys, 88. Hammets. People get shot all the time. People looking down tubes of mortar things when them cheese charges don't fly off, and all you see is a red spray. Yes, you're gonna get a flag and $200,000 check. It happens all the time, every day, everywhere. Soldiers forget to clear the weapon. They ain't paying attention. They jaw jacking, shooting the shit. Next thing you know, bam, somebody that got shot in the shoulder because somebody cleared their weapon, pointing it. It happened.
But the thing is, but does it happen with him slamming it on the ground in the middle?
No. So
that was the fiasco of the conversation. That it didn't happen slamming a gun, because he claimed that that's how the person got shot in Louisville.
I get that, but you know what? Sometimes people just look for something to find fault in. That to me, even though I was fresh to him, I understood what he was trying to say. It just came out the wrong way. Military people will look at that and say, "I get what he means. Just an accident." But for those who don't know, like, oh, see, he don't know nothing about weapons. He's ignorant. He leading these people, and it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. That's just.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I gotta disagree with that, bro. The way he put that video together, he should have just shut up.
Oh, to Harkin, let's just say okay and move on.
Yeah, because he should have just be quiet, because the way he put that video together, brother, he was trying to explain that the gun went off by banging the thing to the ground, whatever the case may be. As you said. With that being said,
right.
While you was a part of the NFAC, how many formations did you participate in?
Like I said, Louisville 1, that's the one I sponsored the people to go. But I was at everyone after that. Louisville 2, there was only like 2, Louisville 2, Lafayette, and that was it. There was no more formations after that.
Well, while you was, and you say you had a little bit of military experience, right?
Yeah, I was an infantry soldier. Yeah.
So as you was going with these formations, did it jump out to you that, from a person like me, and I told you this off camera, I was like, man, this stuff look raggedy. This stuff just don't look as if the way that he's selling it to people. It's
Okay.
okay if it's not all together because y'all just coming together. But he's selling it to people that we are all ex-military. We are expert shooters. And then when you look at the picture from a person like me that has no military experience, I don't know what I'm looking for. It looks very raggedy. Are you were you able to like, we got to get this together? And were you of the thought that you would be able to pull it together, or did you thought it was okay as it was?
Okay. Let me tell you a timeline story dealing with my beginnings with NFAC. As an infantry soldier who've done it all in the service, when I looked at Louisville 1, there was things that I saw as a soldier that, yes, I could easily just go on a rant about what is inefficient and what is subpar. But what I did, because I believed in the work, what I did, there was a brother and a sister that he had to start to head up the Georgia chapter. From what I understand, I don't know the full story, but there was a Georgia chapter of some sort during Stone Mountain, which was the first formation, and there was chapters to be started after that, and it wasn't no official sanctioned chapters. It was groups of people. Well, according to the story, I don't know it in total, so nobody who I was there, that ain't true. I don't know it all. So, but what I've heard was there was a lot of nigger nonsense that transpired. So he dismantled it all. All right. But when this brother and sister did the call for those, after Louisville, he said, go ahead and start chapters. So when I went to the meeting, one of the things that I said was, hey, listen, there's things that I've seen. There was about 10 of us there. I said, there's things that I've seen that I've noticed. As a military person, this ain't going to work. And what I did, I stayed up all night long after that meeting because I was so excited to see this thing be successful. And I wrote pretty much about maybe 15 pages of procedures, policies, everything from how to go to formations, everything this, that, and the other. And I gave it to the brother and the sister. They told me, they said, okay, we're going to send this to the general because this is excellent. This is what we need. All right. Next thing I know, I would listen to the Facts Over Feelings and Morning Mentals. And I'm just going to say it like this. Maybe him and I was on the same wavelength of inspiration, but literally line by line, the stuff that I wrote in that policies procedure, I started hearing it. I'm like, wait a minute. I wrote that.
Do you know that Delta, and I don't mean to cut your wisdom, Delta mentioned the same thing about him talking to Grandmaster Jay, and that literally he was shouting it out to the troops, if you will, in Stone Mountain. But carry on.
Again, I have no evidence that he was inspired by what I submitted, but it's just very coincidental that him and I was thinking of the same thing in the same sentence structure. You know what I'm saying? That he put out there. Everything dealing with the formations. I mean, it was so much stuff. And I'm like, and I asked the sister, I'm like, she's like, yeah. She said, that's your stuff. She said, I told you I gave it to him. I'm like, cool. But I'm not upset with that because I believe that, see, I didn't physically go to the first formation, Louisville, but after Louisville won. But after Louisville won, there was recommendations made to him. The brother who was in charge, he had some life issues going on. No disrespect to him, but he was removed from command. And so there was, little did I know, there was people that had contact with him that kept throwing my name to him. This isn't something that I sought after. I was just happy to be a part. But next thing I know, he called me. It's like, you come very highly recommended and this, that, and other. And I'm like, okay, all right. And he was like, you know, I dismantled the last bunch, you know, because Georgia always got problems, but, you know, I'm just going to take a chance with you. And I'm like, okay. And from there, that's what happened. So I believe that the information that I put out, whether he read it all or not, skimmed through it or not, I do believe that by me taking the time to show my interest in making sure that we can build something that's positive and strong for our people to galvanize in. I believe that that inspired him to say, you know what, I heard your name. He didn't say anything about the stuff I submitted, but he probably was like, if this the guy who wrote this, I know what his mind is, and I could trust him in leadership. The rest is history.
What was the, and you asked me if anybody want to see the video, you probably check that one out maybe tomorrow. You asked me in our conversation, you said, this is why I like you, because not that I know you from no more than a few days ago, but you asked me, you say, okay, you got this information, you made all these videos, you got the videos of me. What is your end game? You asked me that question. You say, what is it? What you doing? What is your end game, brother? You know what I'm saying? We talked about that, and like I said on my my other platform, people will be able to check that out. Did you ever consider what is the actual end game of your position and NFAC as a whole? And was it a logical one, or what was it?
My end game, and members of my chapter, anyone who is engaged with me will tell you that I saw this thing becoming magnificent in the beginning. All right. And I'm sure as the interview progresses, we can find out where I had reservations of things turning. And that's when my concerns came. But yes, I did. I wouldn't have made the many investments that I've made into something that I don't believe in. I mean, I'm a conscientious brother and responsible with what the Most High has given me in time, dime, and state of mind. So I made my investments into something that I believed in. I continue to sow seed into this straight up, you know, whatever the cause, whatever the time, whatever. I've been here because I believed in it, really did. So it's like, you know, I used to preach. And one of the things when you look at that Greek word believe or believe, it's actually an action word too. That is like service. So you can't say I believe in it and there's no contribution of time, there's no contribution of resources, there's no contribution of any sort of you, and you saying you believe in it. You're a liar, you're fraud. So my belief was fortified by actions that no one can deny, that I saw the end of this thing being successful. Absolutely.
I guess I got to get to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
When was the first time that you thought like, hold up, maybe I should reconsider? Was there ever a time, even before you sent and all the conversations, before you even had your first conversation, was there ever a time that you said, hold up, wait a minute?
Honestly, the first time that I ever thought of, like, you know what, fuck this, is literally not with him, but it's just as a commander dealing with the chat. See, I had a lot of people. Georgia grew to over 100 people. And when you're dealing with that many people and that many personalities, yes, I did everything that I could to exercise the disciplines I learned in athletics, you know, the martial arts, the boxing, the track and field. I did the understandings that I was fortified with by being a minister and that level of, you know, the spiritual application of discipline and suffer the wrong and show understanding to the least of these. I did everything that I could. And then it got to a point where I was like, I'm sick of you niggas. Now, I never said that to my chapter per se, but it was just so much going on. And respectfully, there was some very esteemed people that I valued, that they, all the clutter, the different characters and stuff, they was like, with all due respect, gotta go. Now that had nothing to do with the general or the organization. It's just people. We're a broken people called to become a fixed work. And that takes work. It takes a lot of patience, especially when people are emotional. This one want to kill, this one want to do this, that one. It's just like, and you try to bring all of those people to one mind. That is difficult. That is difficult and taxing. So it did. I remember in Louisville too. We went to Louisville 2 with about 40, 41, 42 people. By the time we left Louisville 2, Georgia was sitting in that formation because not all of us went to the formation. No, Lafayette. He had some of everybody all over the state. He gave them all my IG, whatever. My phone was going off all night. Where the formation at? Who are you? He told me to get with you. The general was over there. And it was going. And then he would call me and he would joke. You sure you want this? And I'm like, bring it. You know what I'm saying? What? You know, I ain't never run from shit. Do it. And I handled it. I did it. I was in the room typing up names, doing all my soldiers put my gear together. It was crazy. But when we left there, we had damn near almost 90 people in the formation, along with those who was back in what we call garrison who didn't come. So you got all of these people coming. It was pandemonium. We didn't even have the entire structure set up. I was trying to formulate all of that, whatever. It was crazy. And I was getting it. Oh man, it was that, and running my companies. It was for me. It was stressing, tiring, and at one point I was like, "Fuck this." I see why some leaders at some point say, "Fuck you niggas, I'm done. I'm done." You know, but I stayed on. And they will all tell you I never vacated my post, no matter how hard it got. I prayed, I sacrificed, I continued to love, continued to sow. And guess what? I'm proud and I love my chapter. And they love me because I'm honorable and integral to the position in which I hold. The general knows that too. He knows it. He knows it.
Hey fam, let me indulge y'all real quick. I want to show y'all one thing real quick while I got y'all attention. Do anybody know who that is? Anybody know? Let's see somebody in the chat know who that is. Anybody know who that is? He's being taken into custody. Anybody know? Let me give y'all another one real quick. Real quick. It's just intermission. Anybody know who that is? Anybody know who that is? Imam Jamil. He's in prison right now. He's a true freedom fighter. He's a true freedom fighter in prison right now for COINTEL operations that was perpetrated against him. This is the reason why we call out those that mean us no good when it comes to the fight and the liberation for our people. If it's suspect, we should call it out. This brother is being tortured in prison right now by the way of not being taken care of medically. Not to mention that the reason that he's in prison, there is one who gave a confession for the actual crime, a written confession for the actual crime that they have put against him. You follow me? What am I saying? What I'm saying is this, family. Many people may think that this is just a show. We're just having fun. But you have real lives that have been damaged, that have been torn, and some have even passed away within these concentration camps called prison for fighting for your and my freedom and for fighting for what we are doing right here, right now, having a conversation. Imam Jamil, if you don't know the story, we'll be talking about that story on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're going to be reading the confession, and we're going to be bringing his friend and representative on these streets, if you will,
Not to mention his son is a strong representative in the fight for his freedom. Brother Bilal will be here. He was instrumental with Gil Scott Herring. Y'all know what's that? Well, I know the poet Gil Scott used to play the trumpet with them. He will be on the show come Tuesday. He'll be breaking down what took place. We're going to start from the transition of H. Rap Brown when they accused him for trying to burn down a place right here in Maryland, Cambridge, Maryland. He'll be talking about that. I'll be asking about that. We'll be looking at the brother's health. We'll be talking about his entry into the freedom fighting organizations of the Black Panther. His transition to becoming a Muslim, and his fight for freedom. And there's an actual confession on the record. There's an actual confession. We have that confession. The authorities have that confession, but they refuse to let the imam out. You know what I'm saying? So I just grabbed this offline. So let me not show that so people won't get confused. But we'll be talking about that, family. We'll be definitely talking about that. This is a true freedom fighter. A true freedom fighter who has been locked up since 2000 for something that he didn't do. Something that he didn't do. So we'll be talking about that. So I wanted to just throw that out there that we're going to have our brother Bilal, who has been fighting for the imam for a long time. Ever since he's been locked up, he's been fighting for the imam. And so we need to be aware of brothers who are in these concentration camps. That's what they are. Political prisoners. That's what they are. Just think if somebody would have been able to say something, just anything that would allow the imam to wiggle and get away from that lie that's been perpetrated against him. You know, we don't know. You know, the universe has a way, you know, of delivering things to us for the betterment of humanity. And a lot of things happen so we won't continue to go that way. But those who have to suffer on the receiving end for the negligence of somebody, or even those who are not aware, to say, watch that one right there. You know, I think we all have a responsibility to speak out and make sure that this don't continue to happen. So this is why when something that seems odd to me, I speak out about it. It's just what it is. I speak out about it. And so with that being said, thank you for indulging me. I see y'all on Tuesday. We'll be talking about Imam to Brother Bilal, the famous trumpeter. I think he plays the trumpet. You know what I mean? He's been on stage with Richard Pryor. You know, he's an OG of the OGs when it comes to freedom fighting. Now, brother, so are you saying that when you seen all of the workload, that was the first time that you wanted to get out of there? Is that
Yes, it was, but at the same time, because of the virtues that I live by, like I said, I'm spiritually rooted. So my position, the placement of where I was, and some of the things, the way I saw that was happening in the development of my chapter, how we became sanctioned. You know, Georgia was the first sanctioned chapter of the NFAC. We were the first chapter, and actually we got sanctioned as a chapter while covering the detail for General Nzinga's funeral, right up the street from my house. So a lot of that to me was symbolic, and it was a testament of a placement for me that, you know, some may argue whatever, but I say for me it was divine in nature. So even though I felt certain pressures, I was integral to the placement of myself. And sometimes like the words say, preach yourself a message. I would say things in the encouragement of my chapter that I was actually putting out there also for my own encouragement. I would let them know, make your call and election sure. You know, that's what the word says, to make your call and election sure. Like, if you claim that you are here and see this work as something that's sanctioned in the divine by the Most High, then your integrity should be absolute. And so for me, there's no way that I had the mindset that, man, I don't know about this, but my spirit man was like, no, you're going to stay integral. He who puts his hand to the plow and look back ain't fit for the kingdom. So I was going to make sure that I stay rooted in the principles of what I stand for and stay integral to the cause. And I have, and I've rode every tumultuous wave that has come with this assignment, and I stood tall.
Did you ever watch any of the videos and be like, that didn't happen? Or
what do you mean?
Grandmaster Jay, I don't know how he stopped. He was addicted to the camera. I don't know what he did. He must have went to rehab or something. I don't know what happened, but he would always go live. And when he would go live, I could always spot, like, when he would give a report, I'm like, nah, that's not the case. Here's the video right here. That's not the case. And as recent as he going live on one of these platforms recently, he claims that that they gave him an extension on his case when in fact they sent it to the grand jury, which I think I think he's going to be an example now. I think they done with him. I think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to get any extreme punishment. I don't believe that, but I think his run for whatever he was doing is over. But the embellishing. Were you ever in the midst of something and then he come back later in a video and he's embellishing and you like, because we're talking about integrity here that you just mentioned.
Okay. All right. The video that has made everybody so curious, the reason for the video is because of what took place during his last court date. All right, there's other things on that, but I tried to tell him, I got a call. I didn't go to the court date. I had business affairs. The court date changed or whatever, and I could not shift my affairs. And even though I pled with my chapter, there was even a donor that was willing to finance all the transportation. Nobody in my chapter wanted to go. I couldn't make them. We had a Zoom call. They was like, nope. So nobody went, but I couldn't go. I was in North Carolina doing work. But however, there was a series of things that took place and we'll get into that as the interview progressed. But for that specific thing, I was told by a couple of commanders, they were outraged that they mobilized there and they received some speech that he gave that painted his court matter in one way. But then they find out an article comes out and says all of the stuff about grand jury. And they was talking about how he said something about pointing at the kids on the roof or didn't want no kids in paintball. They was feeding me all of this. And I was like, I had to do some research. And I did, and I found the article. And I shared it with my chapter. I put it in the down. Hey, y'all look at this. But so I made the video because literally in that day, I had 3 commanders tell me, we're tired of this shit. Desert. I hope, hey man, look, I'm ready to lead this shit and follow you. And I'm like, whoa. We got. Hey, listen, that's no lie. That is no lie. 3 commanders told me that. So I'm like, oh shit. And see, I'm like, there was other stuff. And as you asked the questions, I divulged. But I that's when I sent I came in the house and I sat down. I went to a function. I had a function, the brunch function that I had to go to. And I came back in the house and I'm like, listen. And I was like, he has to get a control of this because it's critical. They was disgusted that they went to Louisville, paid their monies and stuff like that or whatever, took time out. And from what I'm hearing, I was not there. But from what they're saying, they were disgusted and told me right then, fuck him, done with it. We're following you in Georgia. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I tried to tell him, like, bruh, see, because here's the thing. I understand that disgusted passion for whatever went down. I wasn't there. However, I'm respectable to his office. So this is why I tried to warn him. Y'all know, a lot of people saying it now, fix it, John, fix it. I was trying to tell him. Like, bro, listen, it is getting out of hand. And these people are pissed off. Now, they may not have the courage to tell you. They may not have the moxie to tell you. They may not even want to tell you and deal with all of that. But I'm telling you, as he who is in charge of this, you better get a hold of this. It ain't like I'm like, yeah, y'all, fuck that nigga. Roll with DE. I didn't do that. I was trying to tell him passionately for 40 fucking minutes. Bruh, get this shit right. Because that video had to do with not only what was going on in Louisville, but some other stuff too. The whole Tulsa thing. It was a lot. And people were not directly telling him their truth. They would call me and dump, call me and vent. But see, everybody will tell you, I never held my tongue with that man. I always let him know exactly where the fuck I stood. Because when you look at me in my face, you're going to know my face card good. I'm always going to be honest with you, even if we disagree. Or even if we got a motherfucker moment, you're going to know where I stand, period. There's no fake fraud here. There's no quiet riot in me. No, I don't do that. Straight up. My life that got me to this point, it provided me with a certain level of tough skin that I'm not afraid to face a man at all on any level. So he knows from day one. Our first introduction face-to-face on Zoom call in front of the chapter. That was the first time I got a chance to talk to this dude, and we cussed each other the fuck out. No bullshit. The first time we met. First time.
But is that a good sign, though?
No, see, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. It's almost like
you're talking about from a military perspective that you're going to be freedom fighting. Is that a good sign?
No, okay. It's never a good sign. Honestly, it's never a good sign to happen in front of the down chain. However, the leader leads the pace and the temperature of the engagement. He came in barking. Desert Eagle, effective immediately. You are removed of command. And the whole chapter is looking at him like, what the fuck just happened? Right? And he came with, it's his fault, but not his fault. He came in with some bad intel by way of another member. I'm not going to touch on all of that. By way of another commander that was getting intel from an ex-member, and we couldn't. It was all a lie. But he didn't investigate. He just took it at face value, and we all looking like, what the hell? And be honest with you, a lot of people don't know this story, but true story. We cussing each other out, and he like, you won't say that shit to my face. I said, it's the fuck I would. What you? we going. The whole Georgia chapter would tell you that happened. Yes, it did. That was our first engagement. So I think what happened in that moment, we both got a chance to see. This is a man about his. He's a man about his. And guess what? The very next, I told my chapter after he got out the room, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna contact him, and he gonna come back and give y'all a fucking apology. I'm getting y'all an apology. Fuck that. He gonna come in here and disrespect. I went off. And guess what? The next day, I don't know if he called me or I called him, but boy, we had it the fuck out. But after that phone call, in that phone call, we were just like, we just got cool. Because it was like, who we talking right now? Is this commander the general, or we just being straight up man to man? And he was like, let's just do it man to man. And I said, you a fucked up nigga. How you gonna call me in my chapter disrespected? I just went off and he going off and we cussing each other out, whatever. But it was in the privacy of our own conversation. But in that moment, in that nigga moment, he saw that my integrities for what I stood, because I told him, you dead fucking wrong. Because he was like, I'll get rid of you and this whole fucking chapter. I'm like, wait a minute, nigga. You got men and women in here sacrificing to be part of your fucking vision. How the fuck you think you get to throw them away? That pissed me off. Because the people were like, did he just say that he would just get rid of us? I just sacrificed my fucking rent to buy an AR so I could be part of the formation. And I'm no fucking good to keep around. So I went to him with all that energy, representing my people, and say, you owe my chapter a fucking apology and you're going to do it. Yeah, we going back and forth. Guess who showed up at the Zoom call? He damn sure came in there. Georgia, this is a good chapter and you got a good commander. That, yeah, I told y'all, fuck that. I speak truth to power. I'm not afraid of no man at all. Fuck that. Now, again, that was our motherfucker moment, but we ended it in pleasantries. And see, a lot of people don't understand me and his dynamic. They haven't been privy to our conversations. The ones that me and him have been on the phone sometimes for hours, just chopping it up. We have a understanding that they don't. So they look at it like, oh, he disrespected my general. Oh, sit your ass the fuck down, you uninformed individual. You don't know what's going on here. You don't know this right here. All right. So again, it's unfortunate that this conversation that was meant to be brother to brother has negligently been put out there. And the reason why I'm here, as I said earlier, to define myself, that no other man will define me, that my son will inherit that definition. But secondly, I was very disappointed, and I've been very disappointed over the last few days with the opportunity that was given to him to just apologize. There was a woman in my chapter, a lot of people know her. Shout out to you, Rue. She's a very passionate woman about the movement. All right. She's in a wheelchair. Everybody knows the queen in a wheelchair, Queen Mother. A lot of people call her.
Is that the sister, the beautiful sister that was at the Hashim demonstration?
Hashim
homegoing service.
Yeah, absolutely. She was there. Absolutely. We made sure that she attended. I was like, you're going to be there. And we made sure that she was there. All right. Because she loves the movement. She loves the movement. She loves everything. She did improperly. We have a protocol that, again, we work on anonymity. So when we have functions and stuff like that or whatever, trainings, whatever, there are no pictures or video that are to be posted online ever, anywhere. Well, she was passionate and she put it on her Facebook, and nobody knew until one day we had a meeting and she said, y'all gonna be mad at me, but I wanted to show everybody how much we love each other. Like, what are you talking about? and she told us that she put us out there. It was like 15 of us, like all of our faces bared. GA lead the way. So the general, of course, it had to be reported to him. That's protocol. He threw her out, the organization, for that act of exposure. Now here I am, your lieutenant general, second in command. You, general, you put out this link. You exposed me. Everybody in the entire organization knew that I flew under the radar integrally. Now, my name, my face, all of that is exposed because of the negligence of the general himself. However, I am here because not only am I going to speak for myself, but the opportunity for him to apologize and take responsibility, he has yet to do. Now, for whatever reason, whatever developments in his life, I don't know why, but he will never apologize. And everybody knows it. He never apologizes. Hell, in early 2000, they came up with a quick way for niggas who had the inability to apologize and come with something sensitive to get out of something. 2 words, my bad. Not even that came my way. So I'm like, damn. In fact, less than 24 hours ago, we got into it again. And I'm like, just take responsibility. If you would have just acknowledged, hey, brother, I fucked up. Don't blame it on another commander in his down chain. Don't blame it on another organization to say that he got it from them. Nobody would have gotten it at all if you didn't put it out. And I am here exposed because of your negligence, General. So what is the reprimand for that?
So you have spoke to him as recently as a couple of days?
Let me tell you something. I've spoken to him since this has all happened. I spoke to him maybe about 5 times, maybe about 4 or 5 times. Yeah. In fact, the first day that we spoke, literally, I bullshit you not, me, him, and another commander, record breaking. We were on the phone, nigga moments, for about 11 hours. Literally. Now, 5 minutes is too long to argue when you're in the wrong. 11 hours. So there is a development there of not taking responsibility. And to fairness in that phone call, I'm not going to go into all of that. That's organization.
That's cool.
But yeah, so even last night, even up to last night, yeah.
But do you know I've said this on the show before, that it seems like Grandmaster Jay is intentionally trying to destroy what he started. I think maybe about the last show that I dedicated to the complete recap about Grandmaster Jay, if you will. I said in the show that it appears to be that he runs K Foss away. He literally says something to the fact that K Foss is don't have the right or selling legal weapons, or he doesn't have something, whatever. Please don't quote me on it, but he said something to that effect. And now K Foss gets out the picture. Because K Foss is frustrated, et cetera, et cetera. So he's like, man, what are you doing? Da-da-da. I'm out of here. You look at back with Delta, and Delta can be a loose cannon. So, but you see, it's like he stopped answering Delta telephone. I mean, phone calls. Who else? You look at Firestar, and all of these potentially great soldiers for the cause that he presented, and hopefully for the cause of our people. And it seemed like he kind of just pushed them away one by one, whether it was intentionally or unintentionally. It appears that he was instrumental in pushing individuals away directly, not because they found something, not because they was watching Morse World TV. Some people left because of that, but those that was close to him, he pushed them away directly. And listening to you, basically you saying, take responsibility, and he refused to do it. Were you able to wrap your mind around that what I just said, that he's literally pushing people away?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's easy. And it took some time to understand him. And I'm going to tell you, I understand him in a way that I relate to myself. Because of the kind of life that I lived, it was harsh. It was very survivalist. I had to do a lot of things that compromised my life, my everything. And so when you live in that kind of way, you just trust yourself. You don't trust people. Even when you need people's help and you find out that at your lowest moment, they're talking about you, they really don't want you around, and stuff like that. So it makes you kind of standoffish from people. It makes you kind of like, at my most lowest points of vulnerability, this, that, and the other, these people who pretended as though they loved me, cared for me, or wanted to look out for me, they really didn't even like my ass. So and sometimes it comes from the people that you would think, in them, there is no way this person would treat me like that. But that level of hurt sometimes comes from the ones that you value the most. And what it does, it leaves scars. It does. See, again, I look at it with a different lens because, like I said, in some of my ministerial background, there's a level of psychology that's needed in order to deal with people. So you have to apply that level of understanding, mercy. You got to get in. Now, I didn't spend that much time with him personally to get into his personal life or to psychoanalyze him, and that wasn't my job. But the way that he comes off, constantly aggressive, disrespectful to people, that's a tactic that he uses to protect himself.
What I said was, I said before, when people was looking at the projection that was given before December, I said in September, and it's recorded, I said that in November or December, he's going to bail out. And this stuff is over. And up jumped the boogie, December the 3rd, he gets locked up. And I said, yeah, he's about to distance himself. I said, what he's going to do is he's going to become like an evangelist, a spiritual teacher, and he's going to promote that documentary that they was filming the whole time. And he's going to distance himself, but he's going to still hold on to just, the ideal that it's NFAC. And brother, it seems like what I said is actually happening. Now, that's all in perception. What I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about the camera crews, the barriers, and the wristbands? Because true freedom fighters, as I was showing Rat Brown, he's not getting no wristband. I'm gonna tell you now. He's not walking behind no barriers. Matula Shakur, he's not walking behind no barriers. You know what I'm saying? They're just not going to do it. These type of people are freedom fighters on the level of the give me freedom or give me death. We're not going to scream it. We're going to march. We're going to talk. We're going to fight. And we're even going to bang off. Imam Jamil, he's not putting on no blue wristband. He's not, it's just not going to happen. But he's a peaceful brother, you know what I'm saying, in the same right. But, these freedom fighters or intellectual freedom fighters, they still not going to be so flexible to yield to the same oppressor that they're fighting against. Did that jump out to you as being odd?
Well, it's yes and no. Yes, yes, to the point of yes, because when you read about those in the past, they gave no fucks about asking for permission to demonstrate their frustrations, to demonstrate or to speak out against the injustices. All right. And in some cases it worked. In other cases, we already know bloodbaths occurred. I think that truthfully, I can't say that I understand him. I wasn't in those conversations. I don't know why he went that way, this, that, and the other. I was still very new to it. So I just complied with whatever we was doing at the time. I will say this, that what we were working with in the infancy of all of these formations, you can tell that the people who were attending, just look at them. These were for the most part, not people that were actually coming to actually engage in probable battle. Most of them would have shot themselves. I'm just being honest. As an infantryman, seeing what I saw, I mean, dudes taking taking a knee and struggling getting up, that's not a formidable force. And there's no disrespect to those who came, but that's not the force you fight with. That was a show of power. That wasn't a powerful show. Okay, there's a difference, right? The people that were there, they came there to be a part of a demonstration of power. They were not ready to engage power for power.
And you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but
There's nothing wrong with that.
But he was selling it as if, again, these are all trained military, these are expert shooters.
Now, to Harvard, I push back. I don't remember him ever saying these are all.
That's what he said. That's the video. That's the video.
I don't recall that, so I can't speak to that.
No. But I'm telling you, that's exactly what he said, and I'll send you the clip later. He's actually said that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's do this. Bro, when you made that video and you sent to him, you sent it to him. It's amazing how many NFAC members actually watch More Sherelle TV, because it's amazing. It's amazing.
Please allow me to touch on that.
Go ahead, brother.
Listen, NFAC. Let me tell y'all something. What this whole experience has taught me. Y'all know I've told several. I don't watch the Harker show. I've only seen it. If somebody says so, I think I've seen the K-Falls thing, the one with Ozone, and maybe the one with Talib or something like that. If somebody, but I don't follow it. I can't speak against it because I don't know. We have all heard things like, oh, Teacup, as he's referred to, is a fad, and this, that, and the other. Okay. Now, bear with me. Hold on. Bear with me as I say this. Bear with me. Just listen to where I'm going. In this particular sense, in these instances, 2 instances, all right, I would say yes, Taharka or Teacup in your reference is a fed. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he was fed information from us. See, the things that he was provided with, he didn't do no investigative journalism, no super sleuthing and anything like that. You commanders sent him that information. I was in my office and I had a very, very interpersonal call with Miss Rose. And yes, there was some information that she put in it that was concerning. January 10th, that phone call was made. January 10th, I only sent it by email to you commanders. Taharka has it because someone in the command group gave it. That's not him. So who's the Fed in that case? If people who work with the Feds expose information to bring down the organization, wouldn't it be fair to say that someone in NFAC command structure is a Fed? Because you fed Taharka information that was personal. And hold on, Taharka, hold on. See, because just like the Bible says, judgment will first begin at the house of God. So those of you who are in the organization pointing the finger about what others are doing and tearing it down, you first have to look at yourself and ask yourself, who amongst you is the true Judas? Because I'm here right now because guess what? Our organization fed him. And it's all around. I'm exposed. The one commander who kept silent, kept low, no post, no anything, exposed by the highest office in the organization. What do you got to say?
And the video that we have is the one that Grandmaster Jay put out himself.
Listen to Harker. I'm talking to
Grandmaster Jay on my team. He want me tear down NFAC.
Don't be childish. Don't be childish. But here's the thing: with maturity, we have to analyze ourselves. We can't blame somebody else for what we did. That's irresponsible. And I'm telling you, it's very disappointing when people know the facts. And for anyone that's a commander and you got down chain that's looking at you and you want them to follow you with integrity and respect, but yet you are knowing certain things and covering up for certain things, won't speak up on things that you know to be true, then how valuable are you to those in your service.
But would it be fair?
That's terrible.
Would it be fair to say if somebody that was in the ranks, feel as though that Grandmaster Jay is not who he say he was, and that nobody is going to do nothing to step up? Nobody is going to say, brother, you need to be court-martialed so we can examine who you are. Are you the real deal? And they don't feel confident that that would happen. Then, you know, just like any other thing, in this world that we live in, the court is held on media, or as they say in the streets, you know what I mean? It's usually held on media, and I'm not saying that that's a responsible response. But if someone was like, you know, man, we got to address this, or we're not going nowhere, we got to address this, and they feel as though if they address it that they'll be attacked, then they say, okay, this ain't going nowhere. I'm going to use other means.
Listen to what you just said. If they feel if they address it, they're going to be attacked. You're in fucking militia. It's all about confrontation. Are you serious? Afraid to be Come on.
I'm just saying the mentality of someone that has concern that they're not going to get anywhere. You made a statement earlier. You said, I'm not going to, you're talking about dialogue, and it's not going nowhere.
All right.
As a reference to Grandmaster Jay. He was like, he didn't answer, so I'm not going to, I forget the words that you use, but he didn't answer, he didn't respond, so I'm not going to keep going on and on with it. And so I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, I don't know, you know, because all of these things come to me anonymously. I don't know who give them to me.
Right.
What I'm saying is that there could be a concern that it's not going anywhere. So you know what? Let's just dismantle it and just rebuild from scratch.
All right, listen to me. If I said, see the thing that you're talking about, the thing that was like, man, fuck it, you know, that's his personal life. I'm not interested in how many times he's been married, whether or not he got kids.
I never say any of that though. That's
right.
not what I'm referring to.
No, but what I'm saying is that's the part I was like, whatever. But when it comes to organizational things, as far as principle things, all right, those things, if it's like, fuck it, let me just go here. When it came to the whole Tulsa thing, that's what really set things off. All right, because unfortunately, and this is factual. This is just factual. I didn't know anything I knew about Tulsa. Ozone called me about Tulsa. My chapter, members in my chapter was talking about Tulsa. I didn't do any, I got so much stuff going on. I didn't look into it. One day he was talking about Tulsa. He put all these clips in and stuff like that. And the narrative, the way it was conveyed was like, these brothers are going down there, stirring up shit, people pissed off, this, that, and the other. So all of us, I mean, I was one of the first ones like, man, what the fuck they doing? Why they, you know, all of that. You know, I'm bad mouthing them because I'm like, why would they do that? Why would they fuck up this monumental thing, this, that, and the other? Commanders jumped in like they stupid, this, that, and the other, all of that, because he kept putting all of these pictures and links and all of this stuff dealing with Tulsa and all the FBI. Anybody go down there, we ain't bailing you out. I mean, the whole thing about Tulsa was that it was going to be this damaging thing that NFAC better not go. And if you do go and any of your people go, they on their own and this. So we was like, but again, not knowing, like, not thinking that, hey, okay, what he's saying, like, yeah, fuck that. No, we standing down. Ain't a part of that, man. Them fuck niggas are doing some fuck shit. However, just by coincidence, in this very chair right here, the gas crisis happened. So I came home early and I'm just sitting and I just heard this sound in my voice. I just heard the sound, this voice say, look up Tulsa. I was just curious. So I started looking up things and I'm looking like, okay, I don't see any disagreement. And I called the 1921 commission. I called the pastor's church where it was scheduled to be hosted. I was just making calls everywhere. And the information I found out was nothing like what he said. I called another commander and I told him, bruh, I'm disturbed. And he was like, what's up, Desert? And I told him and he was like, really? He's like, man, that's kind of, and I told him, my words were exact. I said, listen, bro. I said, I feel very disappointed that I was led down that road to talk against fellow brothers and sisters in cause that's going to do a righteous act. See, I'm a spiritually principled man. So I was like, this man ushered me to bear false witness against brothers and sisters in righteous cause. I said, I'm uncomfortable with that. And then on top of that, define the tenets of the thing was actually righteous indeed. Why would we be held back from being counted amongst the ancestors in this righteous act of service to honor them and fight for the causes of the descendants that remain? Why would you do that? Why would you spin it in such a way that you will cause us to cuss our brothers and sisters that are doing good? That's what we're here for. I was livid. So I didn't say anything. Coincidentally, we had a damn commanders meeting. I think the next day or 2 days after. And the brother was asking me, he was like, you gonna say something? And I was like, hell yeah. Man, and he was like, well, you know, when you go in, I go in too. I was like, okay, cool. So what happened, we had the commanders meeting. And he started going around. He started going in about Tulsa. And I'm like, oh shit, we're about to have that nigga moment. And then he got to me. Desert Eagle, what do you say about your people going to Tulsa? And I paused for effect. I paused and I said, well, with all due respect, I joined this organization. And the thing that attracted me was the facts over feelings. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, with the facts that I found out, I support my people in going. The other commanders was like, wow, oh, and I'm standing my ground because see, at the end of the day, even though he's a general, the scriptures tell me to obey righteous rule. When I found out that it was deception tied to that, and that he led my spirit to bring accusation against brothers and sisters who I know not, and bring false testimony and false on them, I was disappointed. And that rule I cannot obey because it was unrighteous and deceitful. So yes, I stand my ground in the virtues of the truth and I support my people. I told my people in the chapter, you want to go, go. I support you. Unfortunately, I can't make it. Business got me elsewhere. Now, during that meeting, he just kind of stared at me because the one thing about him, once he knows that you know the truth, he don't go back and forth. He will evade. So we had the meeting. We sharing jokes and shit, and the whole bit. It was done. It was done. Now, fast forward, the day before his court date, true to life. I was on a Zoom call with my chapter, trying to get them to go to his court date or whatever. He calls me because by this time, we just found out that you had the phone call from Miss Rose. All right. We just found out, I think it was on the 24th or something like that, 23rd, 24th. While I'm on a call with my chapter, trying to even inspire them to go, he called me. I had to break away from the chapter call and I explained him all of the things that I did for the Miss Rose call or whatever that was done in that phone call. And another commander was on the call. He was like, now he's like, well, you know, the Tulsa thing, you know, it's a good event and this, that, and other. Yeah, they got their permit and I could finally make fun of them that they use the police to get their stuff done too. And, you know, it ain't too. And I told him, I said, sir, you changed, the date got changed for your court date. I'm trying to get people to come. And he was like, well, you know, if some people can't make it, I understand, you know, they changed the court date, but if some people go to Tulsa, you know, hey, you know, it's okay. You know, I looked into it. It's a good event. And the sister who actually got their permit, she's actually part of the gun club. So, you know, it's all good, whatever. I conveyed that information to my chapter. A very noble brother, good brother, stand-up brother. Of course, they all excited. The general then okayed everything, lift the sanctions. He said it on the fucking phone. The brother talks to another brother in another chapter. I didn't know this. I'm in North Carolina now at the time. It's the date of his court date, the next day. I see in the commands thread. First of all, my soldier called me, pissed off, yelling in my ear. The fucking general just cussed me out. Who the fuck you think he is? I'm a man. Well, brother, calm down. What happened? Well, he just cussed me out, telling me I had no right to tell anybody that it's okay, that he didn't okay anything about Tulsa. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? Yes, he did. He said, he just cussed me out. And I told him what you said, Commander. And he said, he gonna cuss you out too. At that time, he called me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm on my customer side. I ain't dealing with this shit. So I called my soldier down and I said, don't worry about it. Well, then I guess because he didn't get me, he posted my soldier's text message to the other brother in another state and said, this is a straight lie. So I saw it and I'm like, wait a minute. And I just went in and I'm like, I'm sick of this Tulsa shit. You know what I'm saying? And I stand with those who going in point blank, period. Now, if those who were in the room with which are the commanders, if they was true to life, they would have seen. Not only did I put in the information that what he did by putting the spin and all the lies and stuff like that to make us think it's another thing, not one time did he say Desert Eagle's lying, because he knew I was telling the truth. He knew it. In fact, his first response was like, Tulsa's a good event. The event is good. Now, he's been cussing this event out from the very inception of his thought. Now, all of a sudden, it's a good event. See, it's stuff like that I'm like, if you a commander, even if you love and respect him, hold him accountable so that he won't lose his way. But if you're going to be cheerleaders, scrotums, hugging and shit like that, you're going to help him lead you to a demise because you're not man or woman enough to let him know, General, hold on. Now, wait a minute now. You want some fuck shit because you know damn well what you said, what you did. And we all hold you accountable. Don't cheerlead whatever the general says. Yes, sir. That's pussy shit to me. I can't respect that.
Let me say, when was the liberating exercises in the community was supposed to take place? It sounds like a lot of what they say, politically posturing, it seemed like a lot going on, but I don't hear anything constructive as it relates to addressing the problems that the community faced. Was there ever conversations about some exercises that would take place in neighborhoods or communities that is plagued by oppression or anything like that?
To his credit, it got to a point somewhere, I guess it was somewhere around February, maybe February, March. I think more so February, or maybe late January, somewhere around that time. For whatever reason, there's a light that came on in his head, and he says, you know what? I'll release all you chapters from my restraints. Because I guess he realized a lot of what we were not doing and wanted to do is because he truthfully didn't want NFAC out there and possibly getting caught up in anything that may cause detriment to his case. And to me, that's wisdom. But there was a point where he did say, all you chapters, and it's been this way since, all you chapters, go. You can go into the communities. You can do the bake sales, fish sales, car washes. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever. I just think that by that time, the level of morale for, I guess you could say, activism atrophy done set in that, and then there were times that people wanted to do something and he like, no. Don't get out there. You want to affect my case. Do y'all not understand what I'm going through? It's that whole WrestleMania shit again. It's like, and me and another commander had that talk with him on the phone. Like, dude, every time we want to do something, you keep on throwing up your fucking case. We want to do shit, but you keep on like, no, don't do it because of my case. Like, damn, when the fuck are we gonna move? And he was like, oh, you're right. So it was that thing. I get it. I get it though. But
did you find that there was an imbalance of conflict as opposed to resolution work going towards our community? I mean, because it sounds from the story, from what I'm hearing, and from what I've researched and I've studied about the organization, if you will, it seemed like there was more conflict as opposed to agenda-based moving towards any type of resolution or solutions besides the quote-unquote formations that the world has witnessed.
When you say conflict with what?
Like the conflict, you and Grandmaster Jay going back and forth, him going back and forth with the chapters. Don't do this, you're gonna affect my case. All of this back and forth thing. I'm talking about, did he ever have a plan to say, well, I mandate that each chapter would do XYZ to enrich the community? It sounds like in these commander talks, there's a bunch of friction going on.
No. What I'm doing when I say that, I'm isolating the points that were between me and him, because
I get that, but
here's the thing. I'm not going to go into detail of all of the directives that was given as far as the mobilization of the organization. But what I will say is that the chapters were released by him to go ahead and embrace their communities, community policing, get active, this, that, and the other. I gave the commission to my chapter. Hey, y'all, we are free. The restraints are off. Come up with your ideas. Let's do it. Yada, yada, yada. I just think that just like at one point, everybody was excited about formations. There was a readiness, but it's just like going to the gym. After a while, because you don't go, it's like this atrophy. You're not as excited about going to the gym. You kind of put it off. So I think psychologically, that's what happened. There was a level of lost morale that, even though it's like you're free, and I hate to use this analogy, but you know how they say you could train a dog, put the chain on them and they only go so far, whatever, for so long. And then you take the chain off and they still won't go past that boundary. They just locked in that understanding that they can only go so far, even though they're free. So I think that's what happened. There was little movements here and there. Even in my chapter, there was some level of movement, but it wasn't just like, we're going to hit the ground running and we're going to do this, da-da-da-da, we free. It wasn't that kind of spirited thing in any chapter. So so that is not his fault. Once he let us go, we had the responsibility of flying the flag. So I would definitely say, once he let us go, we had a commission and responsibility to represent.
But what about before the case in December? Was there any other community activism should be key for all of this? You understand what I'm saying? So were there any community activism coming from the top before he caught the charge? Is what I'm saying.
No. Simple. No.
Okay, cool. So I'll leave it at that. Simple no. Can't fight the no. So I want to share with you a couple clips and see if we can respond. Now, family, what you're about to see is the video that I was privy to, sent to me anonymously. Thank you to my anonymous sender, because we really need to address this type of stuff in our community and discover whether it's legitimate, and I'll ask Desert Eagle in a minute, whether it's a legitimate approach to liberation under what we have witnessed, or can it be fixed? And we'll be talking about that in a minute. Give 1 second.
Not good. I respect you as a person because I know that you've been the anointed charge over this organization. But I will not hold my words in letting you know that you have done some great misdeeds to get things to the point of where they are.
Now I want to ask you, do you believe that he's anointed in the sense from giving the charge from the Almighty God of the universe, as you made in that statement? When we talking about anointed, my interpretation of anointed, I could be wrong, is that you were giving a charge from Almighty God to carry out these acts that you have initiated and carried and attempted to carry out? Do you believe that he's anointed in that regard?
For my personal convictions and my understanding and my relationship with the Most High, yeah, I've told him several times, like, you anointed. And I also told him in commanders meetings, like, listen, just like the scripture says, anointed people are fucked up. They are. All anointed people, they fucked up. They got issues of development, mental, emotional. It's that thing. It's like, because they so fucked up, what they able to, and so many people know that they so fucked up, them being able to do what they do, the credit can only be given to the Most High, because them in their own strength, them in their own ability, ain't no fucking way they're gonna do this. And if you look at every person, they've had some issues. And I told them, I said, yeah, you fucked up. You're gonna be.
What were some of the misdeeds in that clip right there? You talk about his misdeeds. What are the misdeeds? And me being now, you know, I'm a Moorish American, so I examine. I'm a Moorish scientist, so I examine everything. And when we're talking about deeds, you know, I'll let you elaborate. But just remember, I examine everything. What do you mean about his misdeeds?
I will only put it like this. If I went down a grocery list of stuff, it'd just be gossip. And that's unfruitful and unproductive. What I will do, hold on. You asked me.
I agree with you though.
Hold on. So
a small example though.
What I will do is stick to the matters that have been revealed through irresponsibility that all the public know. All right. Things that my voice is actually talking about, and the things that the recording of Miss Rose actually details. Other than that, the other things I'm not going to speak on.
Right.
Because and let me say this, because I'm not here to bash Jay.
And I said that in the beginning.
Right. What I'm here to do, honestly, is one, like I said, defend my name. And let me say this side note, you know, the immaturity of some people, and I know you said, don't look at the comments, but you know, some of the people, and I know who they are by the things that they say. I know a couple of people that are in my chapter right now, and a few others that are gone and stuff like that. They're saying all kind of things on my, and I'm gonna tell you, and I say this here publicly. This is the problem with people that are just going, grabbing guns and playing soldier and playing warrior, because this internet has given people a false sense of security and manhood and womanhood. And they speak so reckless, but they have no heart to engage anyone right here. No heart, none. Straight Kool-Aid, straight passive, straight avoiding. They have none. Because and people will tell you, anyone that has ever had an issue with me, and I'm not in the interest of harming my people, but at one point in my life I did. So it ain't like I don't know how. And I tell them, if you want to disrespect me, call me out, put things on my name that you know that are not true, I will value you more in whatever level of expressions you had if you got the heart to say it right here. Now, it may not favor you much, but at least you have my respects as you getting that life stomped out of you. Respectfully.
Good night. Anyway, family, this video can be found at the link in the chat. Let's go to this one.
In the right place. I don't have your call. I don't want your call. Let's establish that right now. I don't care how many people you don't trust, and this, that, and other, whatever, this, that, and the other. I'm not them. I don't want your position. I never was thinking about running a fucking militia or no shit like that or whatever. I'm not interested. That's not what I do. I'm a businessman that's smart as a motherfucker and know how to make shit happen. I've been a hustler and fighter all my life. So the attributes that you see me contributing in this, it's not because I want to be some dude out front in a fucking militia.
and he was saying that he didn't want to be a guy up front in a militia. And I thought it was instrumental that I take that clip right there, because I don't want people to think that you were coming on Morse World TV as a tag along or as one who is vying for position or fighting for position, because I don't get that from you. In that same breath, I would like you to speak on that. Do anybody feel as though, I know you can't speak for everybody, but do you I hope you don't get the sense from people that you want to be on the forefront of leading a militia, do you?
Yeah. Oh, listen, if you notice, and again, that's because of personal things that happen in his life to make him who he is. All right. He's 55 years old. This stuff, this malicious stuff is brand new. Okay. So the way that he sees people and engage with people, that shit didn't just now. That's the way he just started acting. That's rooted. That is seasoned. That's John Johnson. All right. Not GMJ. That's John Johnson in his way that he sees people in relationships. That's him. Okay. For some reason with him, he doesn't trust humanity. He don't trust nobody. He's scarred somewhere. But the problem with that is everyone that has any bit of sense, he thinks is coming for my spot. Like, nigga, do you understand where you at? Who the fuck want that? Like, the reason why I stayed in the shadows, because I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be out there having my life all disrupted and picked apart. Who the fuck wants that? I don't want that. I just love my people. I'm willing to do, but I'm going to do at peace. I'm going to do it in a way that I'm comfortable to still engage with the rest of my life without bother. That's why I stayed low. You fucked that up for me now. It's over. Done. I mean, seriously.
John.
That shit is everywhere. Dude, I got all kind of strange people friend requesting me with no posts and all kind of shit on IG. People, litany of people, Facebook. Dude, you fucked that up for me. So I was never trying to be that dude out. Who the fuck want to voluntarily put themselves in those level of crosshairs? Who wants to do that? That ain't no intelligent fucking decision. Do I sound like an idiot to you? Do I sound like I'm non-compass mentis? Do I sound like I'm missing a few? Like I just want to jump out there. Hey, world. Hey, feds. Just pick my life apart. Let me be part of this shit. Destroy my businesses, relationships, and every fucking thing else. Have me on edge where I can't even go to the store and buy eggs in peace. Who the fuck want that? Nigga, you can have it. No. Fuck no. Motherfuck no. Are you kidding?
So, are you completely over with NFAC?
You know what's so interesting?
I got a question. Let me write these down because I got a few questions in association with that question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. You good?
It's very interesting because again, not to no doing of my own. I ain't been in no campaign. And even my own chapter, people have been getting on me like, Commander, you ain't going nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, man. So here's the thing. I've heard from other organizations who've, I guess they've done their investigations, heard things, this, that, and the other. And here's the truth. I'm going to say this right now. The reason why so many people are reaching out to me and know of me and know what my attributes are is because NFAC is talking. They're getting intel about me from people in the organization. NFAC is talking. So I don't even follow. I don't know nobody's names. I don't know none of these organizations. Some people religiously follow. I don't do that. I stayed in my own and I just love on my chapter and that's it. I got respect for everybody else's movements, this, that, and the other. Hey, yeah, fuck, let's all even train together. Let's do it, whatever. But I stayed in my own. I do. So my future with NFAC, And I've belabored over this in thought for the last couple of days. In meditation, I sat with a couple of people in my organization who loved on me and sold into me and was just and encouraging me. My chapter, let me say this right now. GA chapter, you are the best thing moving. I love y'all so much. The way that y'all edify me, build me up, keep me strong. Y'all see the stuff that I go through. Y'all have witnessed some of the stuff that I've gone through, and you have been always inspiring and edifying. And that's why I go so hard for y'all. And that's why I told y'all I'm forever accountable to you, because I respect y'all and love y'all so much. And thank y'all for everything that y'all give me to keep me going. It is the reason, even with this, I mean, the outpour of continuous love. Commander, we got you. Commander, you I mean, all of it. Hell, I'm sitting right here with 3 kind of like nectarines. And the reason why these are here, literally, I started to eat them yesterday. And shout out to Track, shout out to Woke. They gave me this, right? Like, because they told me to come over to their house and fellowship and just, you know, and they gave me this. And I got this sitting right here next to me. And I positioned it here because there's a biblical reference that talk about how your words should be seasoned. And what is keeping me in mind of is like the stuff that happens tonight. I want to be mindful that this time in this dialogue, whatever, that there be a level of positive seed that I sow to bring about understanding and also galvanize the continued movement of unity as demonstrated by the militias and what they did in Tulsa. So before we conclude this interview, I want to be mindful that the words of my mouth, because I'm being watched right now by the Most High and a host of all the ancestors, that it is pertinent that I put something out here that is beneficial for all my brothers and sisters in the service of the matter of militia, or in the service of our people, that is edifying and fruitful. So as far as my future with NFAC, I say it to you like this. It's a contingency. It's like this. I do believe, and I'm saying this now publicly, I do believe that my continued furtherance with NFAC has, I believe it has run its course. And I'm going to tell you why. I love GMJ. That's my brother. I do respect him. But again, as a man being principled in the word, all right, if he would have just taken responsibility and acknowledged his wrong that he's punished others for, then I would have been like, you know what? The man made a righteous step towards forgiveness. It is my job to forgive him. Now, here's the thing. I'm compelled and obligated to forgive him, even if he doesn't seek forgiveness or ever acknowledge it. That's the principal thing that I have to do. So he's forgiven. But even though he's forgiven, it's the attributes that I've noticed that for the highest authority that he says he lives by, he's not measuring himself up to. When you start the lies, when you start the manipulation, when you start doing things like that, and you are a leader, all right? It's one thing if he was just a carnal man that like, I don't believe in God or nothing, I just do what I do. Then there's nothing to hold him accountable to than other than what he feels life is. But since you are a man that says that you are governed by a higher authority, then I'm going to measure your actions against that authority in which you say you stand by. And because you are a principled and spiritually rooted man, then by these same oracles that are outlined in his scriptures and his principles, you are falling short. And there is a judgment that you believe, that you've even taught on, that is reserved for those who violate those principles. And because you do them cavalierly, unapologetically, there is no way of conscious common sense that I can continue to put myself subject to your leadership. That's why I have to move on.
So my next question don't even make sense. It might do, but let me just ask it anyway. Will you continue to have dialogue with Grandmaster Jay on any level?
Listen, I'm not against him.
I know you say you're not against him. That's your brother, and you know, and I don't take this as an attack. And as we talk before the show, I acknowledged that I don't really want this to be attacked, and I don't feel as though you even have the energy of attacking. So do you think y'all will still be able to communicate though?
Yeah, we can communicate. Shit, he could call me now. I know you're watching. What up, Jay?
Hey, Jay,
I know you.
you
I know everybody watching.
the giving. You my man. I try to listen. I try my best not to talk about you no more. But I'm telling you, every time I turn around, I check my email. I say, good goodness of gracious. We gotta let the people know. It is what it is, Jay. One thing you shouldn't have done, one thing you should have done is not to run a campaign on social media. Whenever you run a campaign on social media, you will always be critiqued, you know, and Moorish World TV is not above being critiqued. I'm critiqued all the time. You even say teacup of agent. Don't bother me none. But GMJ, get it together. The Europeans are about to throw you to the wolves if they not already have done. They're done with you. They're going to give you some probation. Just keep your nose clean. But they done with you now. Trump now, they done with you. Unless Trump win in a couple years, he'll give you a call. But they done with you for now. That's just my disclaimer. Let me give this to you, my brother, real quick.
This ain't no Dr. Phil fucking moment. I'm just telling you, brother to brother. This shit is imploding. And I would not doubt within the next week, two, or a day or two, or whatever, this shit will be no fucking more. At least here in the States. You can still have the fanfare and the connections and stuff like that, maybe overseas, or whatever, this, that, and the other. But here in the States, this shit here.
So in that clip right there, and again, family, the full video, you have to become a subscribe member at the link that's in the chat. This will not be a public video, like I say, unless I think that's a fair thing to do. Unless Brother Desert Eagle say, well, listen, brother, I done already said my piece. You can release it to the public. It's only in a private chat where you have to have a subscription to. Because again, we are going to, I've been doing this for some years now, and it's time to be able to do some community work and be able to be compensated for the labor that's put in to bring attention to certain things that I think we need to know about. But I'm not going to be riding in no Mercedes. I'm not going to have a 20-bedroom apartment. If those who support the channel, I'm going to keep bringing you cutting-edge information that will not make it here, but it will make it. I'm telling you, the next video I'm going to put up is going to be just as shocking, but has nothing to do with Grandmaster Jay. And the link is thethrone.live.com. It's in the chat. So, brother, do you believe that NFAC, and as you said in that comment, is no more in the near future as we knew it, as we know it? Because, you know, it's still going to be, you know, Jay has a political way of presenting stuff and embellishing, and it appeared to be NFAC is alive, strong, and well. But do you think NFAC, as you mentioned, is gone?
I would say yes, and let me tell you why. GMJ, he's like an iron ruler, like Iron Fist. Like, he has to be at the forefront, the command of everything. Like I said, he has this way of symbolically giving you power or authority. For example, if there's something that goes wrong in the commander's chapter, and he's not in these chapters, he don't know these people, and the commanders are dealing with it, this, that, and the other. A person could get reprimanded by their commander. And all they have to do, they could be out of fucking line all day long. They could steal from people. They could cuss commanders out. They could do a lot of different things. And when that commander reprimands them, well, that person is upset. So they just call GMJ. And then GMJ would just call the commander, like reinstate him or something like that. Hey, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? like, Like, what are you talking about? We know these people. We are in. It's like he doesn't want to give you true power. It's like, or authority. He got to have it. There was a time when he first got out of jail, and we had the commanders meeting, and I asked him straight up, if you happen to go to jail, what happens to the organization? And his response was this: NFAC USA is just done. It's done. Now I'm sitting there like, how the fuck are we done? Like, what? Wait a minute. If you got a command structure, and if you go to jail, it's over. Then that means you're the organization. Why are we here? What can we do? Like there's nothing. As you, again, because this is already out there in the public. There's a part of the video where I say these symbolic forms of authority. I'm the second in command. And whoever this committee was that you kept on saying that existed, this round table of individuals that if something happened to you, whatever, well, shout out to my brothers and sisters who are part of the command structure currently, because you're the only ones that I have ever seen hold it down. I don't know who these mystic people are. I haven't seen them. There has been no contribution, no phone calls, no talks, no nothing. I don't know who they are. Maybe they're a bunch of people in his mind or something, but I have not seen them. That's just factual. Factual. And all the other commanders, you could cheerlead if you want, but if you respect and love your people, you will tell the truth. None of us have ever seen anybody other than ourselves. Period. Period. We've held it down. Salute to y'all who stayed in the fight and did what you had to do with all the shit going on. Y'all commanders, that's the committee. Because they the only ones who held it down. Ain't nobody else, ain't no fucking where else can ever say that, well, yeah, I was part of the NFAC and I held it. Bullshit. All of his command meetings are with us. Everything is with us. I don't, there's no elders and none of that shit, but I didn't see it. I did not see it.
I don't mean to laugh, brother, but the way that you put so much passion and emphasis into your the way that you're expressing it, in my mind, I'm watching, and believe it or not, I don't watch a whole bunch of Grandmaster Jay. It's literally annoying to me. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. But the pieces that I catch, I'm like, man, this guy's embellishing like crazy. I recently seen him on a platform where he's in this club. And in this club, you know it's no more than tops 20 people who knows, you know what I'm saying? But he's talking as if he's on stage in Louisville and he's Moses giving the speech to make it to the promised land. I'm like, why is this guy? That's the same place where he talks about that he has an extension on his case. You know what I'm saying? These embellishments are out of this world. Let me share this with you real quick.
So that level of argument back to me, well, you don't know what the fuck going on, whatever. I mean, hey, listen, I'm looking at what's right here. I'm listening to the brothers and sisters.
That clip kind of messed up. In that clip right there, I wanted to point out that, forget listening to the brothers and sisters. In that clip, you imply, and if you see the whole video, you actually kind of lay it out where he's talking about, where he implied that he have all of this structure, power, or support in Africa, in the UK, and you like really, you killed it when you was like, we here. These people are there. Many people have put to the table that he was going to take the bag and run to Africa, the donations from the GoFundMe, and run to Africa after the case. And then you mentioned something about Africa. And then you just said that he says, well, NFAC USA is done. As if there is an NFAC outside of the USA that would be supportive of him, because even in the same video, he's crying about he's not getting the support that he used to. And you hit him again. You said all that money, that's all the support. That's more than support. Now, my point that I'm making is not to carry it on too much further. Do you think that his intentions is to ultimately relocate to Africa, Europe, or something like that and become the superhero? Because the wisdom still stands that a prophet is never honored in his own home. The wisdom still stands. Even a wicked leader or one who means no good, they'll get more support outside of the U.S., even if they destroyed their credibility in the U.S. Do you think ultimately that's possibly one of the things that might be developing for the NFAC?
Well, I would say this out of respect to the understanding of being a student of history, what he's done, how he's galvanized, and the things that he has done has pissed a lot of the Anglo-Saxons off. So it's only wisdom that even if he was to relocate, it just makes sense. He would not be safe here. So even if he wanted to go to Africa, now I say that saying whether or not his plan was to use the money given to go or not, I can't speak on that. I don't know. But I will say, as a leader in the freedom fighter movement, like many leaders have been going to different countries and stuff, exiled or whatever, seeking asylum and stuff like that to other places to protect their life. It only makes sense if he was to take that move. People can't ridicule that, because if they really look at history, a lot of our freedom fighters made that move in order to protect their existence. So if he followed suit, that would be, to me, that would be the respected reason behind it. Whether or not he's using the money, that's up for argument. I can't speak on that because it makes sense if he, hell yeah, go to Guam, Africa, Greenland, wherever the fuck you got to go to live.
So you don't think he could fare in America?
The issue about it,
he lied too much. I think his lies is just overwhelming.
Listen, for me,
I think if he come clean and say, well, listen, I'm not the feds, but I have embellished, and this is where I embellished. Starting from this date, I embellished here, I embellished there, I embellished here. I'm a hustler, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to fix myself. Please, just throw yourself on the mercy of the people.
Well, okay, to that point, in discussion of what can be done in order to resolve or make some type of turnaround or whatever, this, that, and the other. Myself and some of the sitting commanders right now have talked, and they all agree. Now, the problem is they will say things to me, and be passionate about it. But when it comes to him, they won't say it. I don't know why. I don't know what that fear is or whatever, but they won't say it. Now, it has been unanimous. The only way for him to fix this is that he would have to bear all. There's no piecemeal. It's like, well, I'm going to just touch on this and not this. And I'm going to do, no, it's too late. It's too much. That boulder has rolled so far down here that the only way to push it up, you got to, dig your heels in and just go for it. And just like you said, throw yourself out there. There was a saying I heard one time, and it says, he who seeks to wear a crown must first prepare his shoulders to carry a cross. See, so you can't get to that next level of ascension, of value at this point, trying to gloss over and glaze. The people are too aware. He has an inability to face his wrongdoings. And this is why to nobody, it is everybody knows throughout the entire organization, he will not apologize for shit.
You know,
There's something about the fear of just being, I guess, I don't know if it's exposed or vulnerable or whatever, but I mean, he will, I don't care what, the most smallest of things, he will not acknowledge wrong. Just won't happen.
you know what's amazing to me is that matter of fact, let me get to this before we get too late, because I don't want to hold you too much.
These new boots and stuff like that, they're still, you know, whatever, you may have their attention, but I'm telling you, this shit here is dissolved, defunct, dysfunctional. It is a wrap. I'm telling you this. You don't have to believe it. And I don't care what kind of commander's call you're going to put together, whatever, this, that, and the other. I'm telling you, word on the street is this shit is done.
Now, I don't like to do this, but you know, it is an interview. Is that really the consensus from word on the street? I believe that it's done too, without a doubt. But I'm not in those conversations. I can only go by, as you said, that you are a business owner, and I've dabbled in business. You know when it's time to move on. Some business, you know what I mean? It's like Sears. Sears know when it's time to close shop. You know what I mean? Sears is not going to just keep dumping money in Sears when Amazon and Walmart is doing their thing and Target is doing their thing. You know what I mean? Montgomery Wards already know. You know what I'm saying? And so if you dibble and dab the business or something, because the business of saving our people or helping to save our people, it holds somewhat of the same principle. Do you see that the consensus is that it's done?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
And I don't want to speak for anybody to cause you any friction later on, but you know, just your perception.
Listen, let me tell you. Okay, hold on. Let me touch on that. I'll speak on that in a second. Let me tell you why I feel as though it's done. Because GMJ, he has listened to every word of this, and he knows I've always been straight the fuck up with him. And he knows, he sees, this is the evidence right here. The phone call, the leak to the video. You are sitting amongst commanders who have compromised the informations of this organization. I sit here as the second in command. Now, truthfully, he himself didn't send it to you, but there's some people in the command structure that can't wait to see that level of demise, and that's why they keep feeding you to Harker information. See,
I'm the people's grand sheik, though.
Huh?
No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
But see, here's the thing: as a general, when you know that you have guaranteed, solidified that you are compromised, that your command structure is deliberately ensuring that you get outed, how can you say faithfully that you got an integral organization that's going to be successful? And then not only that, as Joyce Meyer preached a message one time, she said, if you a preacher and you're getting 10 people saved on Sunday and 20 walking out the back door, you got a problem. See, what has happened here, from what I'm hearing, and nobody's being direct and straight up with him, but what I'm hearing, all right, this has gone around, so this has gone out so much that even people who have left and people are still in part of down chains or whatever, they hourglass head niggas. They're like, I just want to see what he gonna say. And if he don't come right, I'm gone. That's the consensus. I'm not bullshitting. I got some text messages there. I'm not gonna put it out there. See, because here's the thing. I'm comfortable speaking my truth. You brothers and sisters, you can sit around and be yes men and yes women all you want to. But in the end, how do you justify and look at yourself in the mirror knowing that you are being led incorrectly? Now, I'm not saying his entire leadership is wrong, but where he has come to is at a place of great compromise. He has totally dismissed the values and the integrity for what he says he stands on. Once a man can look me in the face and he totally disregards everything that keeps him sane or keeps him in line, how the fuck am I going to trust him? If you deny the God and the values of the God that you say appointed you, how the fuck are you going to be for me? So all you brothers and sisters like, NFAC for life, I'm down with you, General. We'll go down with him then. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I love my people enough that in spirit and truth, that's how I'm going to lead them. And I am not going to follow any unrighteousness at all. And here's another thing. Commanders, and I'm saying this to NFAC commanders, here's something you didn't know. And I just got to tell you the truth. You know that whole ordeal that you guys saw in the chat room when he was like, you know, the whole thing with Tulsa. And so what did he do? He didn't acknowledge it. He didn't say that I was wrong. So he removed me from the room. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all also remember that even after the video, he got the video. He got the link that I sent for him as a brother to brother, the way we talk. All right. What did he do? Immediately, what did he say? Oh, Desert is trying to start a gun club, and he's just upset that he can't take core members of NFAC with him. Totally disrespecting and lied on my name. What y'all don't know is right after that, yeah, right after that, and another commander was with me. While we having that motherfucker moment on the phone, when the other commander got him in and merged us together, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, something that is true that you didn't know. See, while he's presenting this narrative to have you go in on me, he's secretly contacting me every day, telling me to do things as a commander. See, while y'all thought I was out and he kicked me out, what he was doing was, because he knew I was telling the truth, he couldn't face you all and say that. He couldn't. I told him, don't even come to me with this Nicodemus shit, secretly coming to me. I show you the text message. I told him that. Stop this bullshit. Tell its commanders the fucking truth. I got the text message. So he was like, well, here's another thing. He had me right after we had all of that argument about the video and this, that, and other, about him fucking up. And while y'all thinking that he like fuck Desert and this, that, and the other, you know what he had me do? He had me contact another commander, reprimand him, and put him on suspension as the lieutenant general. I thought I was out. I thought I was no more. He couldn't face the soldier. He wanted me to do it. After that, he called me the very next day, early in the morning. Guess what he wanted me to do? He says, I got a plan, Desert. This is what I want you to do. Now, mind you, I'm supposed to be gone. I'm supposed to be out of it, right? He's telling y'all, fuck Desert and all kind of shit. Got y'all going in the chat room, going ham. I know what some of you said. I don't hold it against you because you didn't know the truth. He literally asked me, he says, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to throw an NFAC function, and we're going to do it in your backyard in Atlanta. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I want you to do it in Atlanta. He said, it's going to be an NFAC function. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of remix it a little bit and make it seem like it's your function, that you the one who threw it. And I'm like, what? I can't make this shit up. And I'm like, and I called my boy, my fellow commander. I'm like, yo, man, what's wrong with dude? Do he not understand that none of this shit is going to work unless he tell the people the truth, unless he level with the other commanders and let them know the truth? But see, he can't face it. So he'll do that kind of Nicodemus shit on the slide. And I'm going to tell you something else, and this hurt me. But you know what? I was complicit in it, so I take fault in it too. Hey, my fellow commander who got disciplined, the entire time the general was on the phone, he couldn't face you. So he made us make a three-way call to you while he sat on the phone the whole time, texting what he wanted us to say to you to reprimand you, hiding that Nicodemus shit. But remember, after my video, Desert is done. Da, 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 da. But yet you want me to throw functions. In fact, just the day before yesterday, he called me and he said, have you given any more thought to what we're going to do? Now, mind you, I'm out, right? So I'm out, right? Desert ain't shit. Desert is just down the other. Desert trying to throw a gun club. However, you want Desert to throw a fucking party for NFAC. So he called me and said, you know what I'm thinking? Let's do it on Juneteenth. How about that? Come up with something for us to do on Juneteenth. But Desert is out. You got everybody thinking I'm trying to run a gun club. You lied on me. You bore, again, false witness. See, when I see those kind of attributes, even to the point where just last night, true story, he called me after I came from a wonderful fellowship being edified by those in my chapter. My fellow brother called me. Oh, everybody's in an uproar. Members of my chapter done sent him, 4 members of my chapter done sent him some emails about, you know, Desert Eagle's dissatisfied and he's thinking about quitting and this, that, and the other, whatever. So the general happens to call and gets on the line. And he goes in about all of this stuff and talks about one of the soldiers leaked it to some woman in New York, and this soldier's claiming that he got it from the new Black Panther Party where he got the video from. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Do you not understand that everybody has the video because of you? Because of you? So of course we got into it this day, and he's the type, he just like, so listen, commanders, you have a responsibility that if you don't want to walk in the truth, then be blind and walk into whatever walls that you deserve to walk into. You deserve that headache. But if you truly love your people and your down chain, make the appropriate decision. Even if you want to keep fucking with Jay, I would dare say, learn from me. Hold him accountable. Hold him accountable. Police him. Since he doesn't want to take any responsibility, then put him in remembrance of his own word and make sure that he stays in line. But as for me and the people that I love, I can no longer subject them to that level of double-mindedness, because the word that I read says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So I can't do it. Y'all can look at me like Desert, but the one thing that y'all already know, Desert stood for fucking truth, and Desert spoke his fucking mind, and he spoke truth to power. There was no pussy. There was no pause in me. I was real with it. So you can say what you want, but at the end of the day, your conscience bear witness that I'm a brother that spoke the truth and made sure the general in my eyesight, in my earshot, always was accountable to walk right and walk righteous. I will not follow unrighteous rule. Period.
I know you don't do a lot of social media. We're gonna go about 10 more minutes if we can. And hopefully we'll do a follow-up, because you know you're gonna get a whole lot of stuff coming. And I'm gonna get a lot of stuff in my inbox, and I would love to talk to you about that on a follow-up show. I know you don't do a lot of social media. Like I said, I never knew who you were, but maybe you peeped into it. Maybe you peeped into it and seen some stuff. What is it with all of these people since Grandmaster Jay haven't been doing the morning mentals? He haven't been dressing up and coming in front of the camera and doing all these things. With all due respect, it seems to me, I don't want to say it as a grand chic, so I'm gonna just say it as, and it's not malicious. It just really, and I only can say it one way. It seems like all the slow people on the internet are taking up the mantle and represent and supporting of Grandmaster Jay. You have one guy that he can hardly articulate his words, and I butcher some words too, but he sounds like mush mouth. Jay, is this why he gonna beat the case? You got a lady, I give her name because she talk about me. Her name is K Money. She lays on a couch. She gives a presentation. She get about 15 views every now and then. And then you got the guy that was in the club. He be like, Grandmaster Jay. He asks Grandmaster Jay real questions, and Grandmaster Jay kind of bark at him. You know, with the MC NFAC going to do? And he barks at him. It seems like that those that are representing from a media front, it's and he actually entertains these ones. They just seem a little bit off. The question is this: do you think that Grandmaster Jay is banking on the slower-minded people in our community? What I'm saying is because I consider that a lot of people with Grandmaster Jay are very intelligent, very highly functional people, and they begin to just roll out. But those that I'm seeing that come out the woodwork and they still in the fight for, they love Grandma, it seems like there's a little bit missing there. They talk real slow. You mentioned about a sister crying for Grandmaster Jay and all of this crazy stuff. You being in there, let me just get to the point. You being in that circle, do you consider that some of these people, something is going on right here? Have you considered that?
Yeah, and what you see there is nothing new. And first, before I say that, is I saw some of the comments, and yes, I let me go ahead and rebuke myself and police myself, reel it in, because some of the stuff that I talk about when I become passionate about it, some of that old thug come out and just like, because it pissed me off so much that. So yes, brothers and sisters, I will police my tongue. I will not refer to one of them said the P word so consistently. So I would definitely do that in respect to the audience and also for the temperament which I'm supposed to represent ethically. All right. So here's the deal. Let me answer that question. All right. And again, to the audience.
K-Money. Hold on. K-Money in the building. NFAC. K-Money. She in the picture laying down. She in the K-Money. You up there in the picture. Y'all support Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay. Y'all make sure free GMJ. K-Money, you don't need to be laying on no couch doing. I love you, sis, but get off that couch. Look at the picture. Yeah, y'all support. She be playing music. You don't watch social media, brother. She be playing music. She be laid back. Y'all play Master J. Oh yeah, she had the music playing. They gonna get you for copyright infringement. K-Money in the building. Y'all go check out her channel. She's a die-hard Grandmaster Jay supporter. She lays on her couch or her bed and just talk about Grandmaster Jay. But to my point, brother, have you considered that some things is going on upstairs? Look, she would donate GMJ. I told you, she die hard, brother. She.
All right. See, so here's the thing. No, I don't see the people as slow or anything like that. What I see is it's synonymous with what happens in the church.
And I'm not talking about the soldiers. I'm talking about the ones I see on the media front.
Right. But here's the thing. It's synonymous, like I said, with what I saw in the church world at my time in ministry. There is a hopelessness a lot of times that happens in people that anyone that can come along and prick their heart in some level of inspiration for hope that they just latch onto. It's like there's nothing else in their life that is elevating them to, I guess, a change or something like that or whatever. And the right oration, the right orator, that's why the Bible talks about the people being persuaded and led by the soothsayers, the people that are really good with their mouth and stuff like that. And they led. But that's not to say that he's necessarily a viper like that. It's just that them psychologically, because this is not unique to him. This happens to Jakes. It happens to Osteen. It happens to Creflo. It happens. These people become enamored with the orator so much that it's a fixation. You see what I'm saying? Because what they hear is like that kind of linguistic silk that just soothes their soul, and they just locked in. So it's not unique to him. It's not unique to him. It's just something in the human essence that just kind of gets lost in something that inspires them and gives them hope. I don't think it's necessarily that they're slow or nothing like that. I just think that, you know, they just galvanize. He has a voice that they just galvanize to, and he's saying something that keeps their attention.
Indeed. Let's look at this real quick.
It ain't all everybody against you. Thou art the man in many of these shit storms that have taken place.
So, brother, again, can we just get one example of a poop storm? What is a poop storm?
Okay.
One that was played out before the public. You know what I mean? Not something that y'all privately discussed, but maybe one that was played out before the public.
Okay. Not necessarily. Again, I'll take responsibility for what I'm involved in. Played out in front of the public, like I said, this whole Tulsa thing, that caused a lot of problems within the organization. See, there was, even though in the presence of him, commanders were like, yeah, we ride. There were plenty in the down chain was like, fuck that. Excuse me. They was like, the hell with that. Why can't we go? Who is this man to tell us that we can't be involved? Like, and many was trying to figure out what is wrong with the unity of coming together for a purpose that represents our people and gives them respects and honorarium. But the way that he did it deliberately, the way that he was trying to persuade people to see it in such a negative way, that caused a problem. And that's why it was like it was like a perfect storm. On one day, it was the Miss Rose phone call, then the Tulsa thing, and then the next thing, because they went to Louisville, a lot of people was dissatisfied with what happened with that mobilization. It just like it's just all those things together, and that's why I was so impassioned about the video. Like, bro, you need to, you better hurry up, because it's critical. So, like I said, to those things that I was privy to, that what I will speak on. Anything else, I'm again, like I said, I'm not here to defame him, but I am going to tell the truth. I am, and this was my personal experience, and I have the receipts. All right, so nobody better come. I don't believe it. You're speaking bad against the general, and shut up, sit down. I got the receipts. All right, and he knows it too. He knows it, and the good thing is, the way he liked to do things, especially within the last few days, 99% of the phone calls was with me, him, and another. So there's witness to this. I'm not lying on the man. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do with the information. Again, I wouldn't be here if he was responsible. I wouldn't. And like I said, it's very disrespectful to be the source as to why this happened, and then we on the phone and you blame it on one of my fellow commanders. They wouldn't have had it if you would have kept it. You blame it on one of my commanders and they down chain. No, it's you. Thou art the man.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. So here's my last little clip.
All right. But there's things that you're doing that's hurt you. You are living according to your decisions. We are the sum total of our decisions. And some of these decisions you're doing are very self-destructive.
So I think we have already cleared that up, but I'll say, brother, I think you have already spoke on that, actually. You know what I'm saying? And as you say, you know, you don't want to delve deep into that. So as we wrap up, brother, I hope that we can come back. You know, I hope that we can come back and do a conversation, because the aftermath of this is definitely something I know that the public would be interested in hearing. I'm pretty sure. I wanted to ask this. when you looked at all of the hundreds of people that was motivated and inspired to come out to Louisville, to come out before Louisville to Stone Mountain. When I first seen it, I must admit, from first glance, I was like, wow, it's a lot of people coming together. But when he began to speak, as you talked about the soothsayer, I could smell and hear this being disingenuous. I could tell he was being disingenuous. I think a lot of what inspired him, I do believe that he's a placement by one way or the other. I do believe that. Can I prove that? No, I probably never can prove that. I also believe and have confidence he has a heck of an ego problem. A heck of an ego problem. And that's how COINTELPRO uses our people against us, by feeding their ego. But being able to make a call at a time where our people was frustrated, at a time where our people was ready to respond in such a way where true change could have happened. But it didn't happen. It just became another march and another, as you said, I forget the word that you give it, but it was what the word that you use? You said it was a something like a demonstration. I'll think about the word later. But you, whatever it was just, it wasn't the real thing, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It was marching, and it was like a representation of what could be, basically. I forget the word that you use.
A show of power.
A show of power. There. And then you look at him standing in front the courthouse. To me, both times, he looks defeated. He have a handful of people there. I've been covering this.
Now, when you hold on, standing in front of the courthouse when?
The both times. The first case, he had a few people there. In comparison to all of those people.
See, we touched on this when we did the Zoom call. That's why I told you, a lot of the stuff that you get, respectfully, as you make commentary on, because you're not there or inside, you don't see the fullness. Now, when we first went to his first court date, when we went to his court date, you saw a few people on the steps, but there was a great multitude of us down the street in the procession of cars.
What I'm saying, in consideration, what took place in Louisville, there was blocks and blocks and blocks of people, is what I'm talking about.
Right.
In consideration. I'm not saying there wasn't people there, but in consideration, that's nothing.
If you remember, between Louisville 1, the first formation where the accident happened, and Louisville 2, where it was all about standing, Churchill Downs. In between that time, like most things happen, nigga nonsense came about. The whole thing with Delta and the division and all that made public and all that, whatever. And a lot of people, what I've come to find out is there's a lot of people in NFAC that are really respectable people.
Absolutely.
And they did not make the sacrifice to go out there and make certain investments. If you look at those people, many of them, all of their gear and everything was brand new. The average person ain't just sitting around buying AR-15s. They did that because they wanted to be a part. But in that time, what they thought was this grand organization, and it was on the merits. But when all that nigga nonsense and division started happening, that's why you don't see the magnitude of Louisville 1 the same in Louisville 2. See, there was a lot different. And also because of that, during that time, there was a lot of distrust. For example, Louisville 2, nobody knew where the formation was going to be. A lot of people were pissed off because they went to the first formation as they knew it in Louisville 1. But in Louisville 2, he changed the location and didn't let nobody know. In fact, nobody was to know until about maybe like 3 o'clock in the morning before. So a lot of people were showing up. They went to the previous location. You know, some people, they did it military style. They dressed up, they planned to drive in, be in formation, done, go and leave. The second time in Louisville, the formation didn't happen until the evening. So a lot of people who traveled came there early in the morning thinking formation going to happen anytime. And they sitting around exposed downtown Louisville with all this shit on. They're like, fuck, where the fuck is the formation? What's going on? People are calling, people that don't know where to go. That they sitting in restaurants like, what the fuck, looking crazy. White folks scared. So a lot of them burned off. It was crazy. So that's why, and that with the whole Delta thing and it was just, it wasn't organized. Respectfully, it just wasn't.
Yeah,
so
those people that were standing behind that gate right there, looking at the race. It was. I mean, the race building. It was like, whoa. This looks bad. But even like I said at the courthouse, and let me tell you, brother, I got behind the scenes footage. people are not. I got behind the scenes footage, and that's why I can see the imbalance, and I can see, or rather, like, brother, you use the term that you're a spiritual guy, you're spiritually inclined, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're spiritually inclined, you can feel people's energy as they're talking. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it through the wire. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it straight through the camera. You can, on the phone, you can feel people's energy. You know that. And so what I mean by he seemed defeated, he seemed very disappointed of the turnout. Definitely on the second time. The second time around, he really, it was turned up volumes, and you can tell that he basically was like, where the people at? But he didn't say it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes I think the level of critique given to these things in their infancy is a little bit premature in judgment. You got to understand, something like that hasn't been done. So what is the guide rule or measuring stick to judge it against? So those things that you see, they have to be allowed for periods of development. There's going to be mistakes and missteps in development and growth.
No, but he's instrumental intentionally with his embellishment, with his lies, with his deception. This is not like a normal hiccup of growing an organization. These are embellishments, these are lies, and these are a lot of things that would destroy any organization.
But here's the thing, Tahaka, and I have a little bit of pushback with that. Out of respect, if you're doing something like that, what he did, he's probably measuring it against history. He's probably measuring it against what has been done in any event like this. So if you got 500 black folk in a white place with armed guns, vests, this, that, and the other, if that has never been done, that's a success. So
no.
just hold on, wait a minute. Just listen.
Bro. No.
Listen, Tahaka. Listen. Again, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows what's in his mind is how he is measuring it.
Absolutely.
So when you say it's not a success, what are you measuring it against?
This is what I'm measuring it against. When one have an intentional, and when one has an organization with the intent of fighting oppression, when one have an organization with and the intent of addressing the powers that be, but there is no laid out plan or roadmap to address that, nor is there a concrete end game to get to that. That's That's a failure. The most successful thing that came out of this, and the sad part about it, is that hundreds of people was inspired and answered the call. And they came together to fight oppression, when in fact, they only built another shallow man's ego. That's it. Now, all of these people are the people that could have turned this oppressive society on their heels in responding to our
I don't know what happened to him. Somebody let Tahanka know that he's frozen. I don't know. I don't know if people could hear me or not. It looks like Tahanka's frozen. I don't know what's going on with his internet, but I see some very interesting commentary in it. Yansa, I see you. You've been going hard the whole time. What you don't know, Yansa, that I actually gave you your props at the very beginning. If you get a chance, look at the beginning of it. I actually gave you your props for what you did in order to be instrumental for me to become the person who I am in this organization. So why you like, oh yeah, you forgot about me, this, that, and other? No, you've been mentioned. And I see some others in there. I see some stuff about Dot and stuff like that. You don't know what happened, and I didn't remove Dot. The other commanders did, just like you were removed by GMJ and not me. So I don't know. Listen, I'm a factual person, so I love you all. So you know, there's gonna be some people mad at this, and that's fine. So listen, I don't mean anything hard or harsh, anything like that. GMJ is still a brother to me. I got love for the man. I just want him to be integral to the calling in which he is recognized, is appointed by the Most High. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. And if you're going to sanction people and discipline people to the point of total membership eradication for a misstep of this magnitude, then how then do you get reprimanded for the very same act? And you have been on the phone with several people when they've done wrong and they don't want to take acknowledgement for it, and you give them stern rebuke to the point that you are impassioned about how they want to give excuse. So you're in the same position, my brother, same position. I guess the rules don't apply to you because you're supreme commander. You are above reproach and rebuke. Bullshit. So, bruh, you know I'm gonna keep it straight with you. I don't hold any beef against you or nothing like that or whatever. But I will say that my fellow commanders, I love y'all. Y'all know what y'all gotta do. I gotta just hold them accountable. You can keep on rocking with him if you want to. I just know that at this place where he's at, it's just been too much. And when it becomes consistent like that, and when it becomes sneaky, when you are comfortable in continual lies, bruh, I can't do it, because you totally dismissed all the spiritual virtues in which you say you stand for. I will always be your brother to hold you accountable. That word is your highest authority in life. And it comes with a consequence too great that any man could pay for his disobedience. I cannot and will not allow you in my presence to do that. I love you enough to keep you in the rightful place where you're supposed to be. Now, I'm going to tell you, you got a steep hill to climb, and that bad boy is damn near 90 degrees. People want to see you succeed, but it's going to come at a cost. You're going to have to get real, bro. You're going to have to get real. And I mean, you got to bear all, period. That bullshit that you told me before, who the fuck are they for me to be accountable to? They don't pay my bills. Who are they? I'm like, dude, that's the people you were called to lead. Of course you're accountable to them. Who the fuck are they? I don't have to give answer to them. I'm the anointed. Remember that? Remember that? Come on. You had a lot of nigga moments on the phone, bro. But again, that's your humanism. That's why I still kept rocking with you and still kept letting you know, like, man, hey man, you gotta correct this shit. So let me look at some of the comments until Tahar can get back. Hold on, wait a minute. But he said he want to put hands on John. Hold on, let me explain something to you. I didn't say I want to put hands on him. What he's done and what he does. See, a lot of you are making comments without any interpersonal relationship with the man. You don't know the man. Do you understand that every person, whether it's K Falls, Delta, Talib, Ozone, even Michi, do you understand that in their, I guess you could say, synopsis and experience with him, all of them said the same thing? Do you think that's a conspiracy? They've all talked about his disrespect and this, that, and the other. Now, as a man, you're not just going to call me motherfucker and cuss me out and this, that, and the other, and do not expect in some way that you have triggered the, let's just say, the necessity for me to respond back. Maybe not so much with words. There is a certain level of disrespect. There's a biblical verse. You can look it up, Google it. I can't remember the actual place, whatever, but it says, a fool's mouth enters into contentions and calls for blows. That's biblical. It's Proverbs. Seriously, you can actually provoke somebody by word in order for them to take action. All right. So, I mean, that's just true. I'm sorry. Where's Tahaka at? Did he, this is show. Did he, I don't know. So let me see a few more. No. See, the whole thing about go to Ohio, see, again, y'all don't know the relationship me and him have. There's been plenty of times. Again, the first interaction that I had with him, he was like, you ain't gonna come and say that to my face. Hey, ask Georgia. I was like, yes, the fuck I would. Like, nigga, like, y'all gotta understand, y'all don't know him. You see blips of him online when he's this, that, and other, whatever. You have not experienced John Johnson. You don't know him. So your defense on him is based on a perception you created about him, which is fluff. It ain't real. We know him. We've heard him. We experienced him. So you got to respect that this image that you may create about him is not true. But those of us who do, how are you going to tell those of us who interact with him day to day, on the phone, in formations, in person, in meetings, this, that, and other, that we're wrong? No, that's not him. What are you basing that on? My perception and what I feel about him. You losing your fucking mind. Like, come on. We got to be mature about this shit. All right? If you hadn't sat, see, people being immature. If you hadn't sat on his lap, come on, man. It just really. And there go Yansa. You know, here's the thing about Yansa. All right, Yansa was a valuable person. All right, in the organization, she made some missteps. She did. She tried to usurp authority. She didn't like it. She knew the protocol. She didn't care. I mean, it's just, and see, the thing is, she has a problem with the truth. The general, she did everything she could to talk to the general. The general listened to her. I just held the phone. I just held the phone. There hasn't been a single person ever kicked out of NFAC or the chapter by me ever. Not one person. Kicked out the chapter. Everyone to date that has ever been removed from the chapter, except for recently, where Dot was removed by the vote of the commanders. I just sat there, just listening. Yansa was removed by the general, pleaded with him on the phone and this, that, and the other. He heard everything that she had to say, and he told her, you are absolutely wrong. You are hereby removed. He then followed up with saying he had problems with her before, when the first, I guess you could say, iteration of the Georgia chapter, because of her. I'm not going to go there, but she knows. I'm not going to put a business out. But that's why you were removed. Tell the people the truth. He removed you. I ain't had shit to do with that. I just held the fucking phone while you played with him and told him all about your kids and how they love NFAC and this, that, and the other. And he told you pretty much he didn't give a fuck. What you did was a violation and you were dismissed. Tell the truth. All right. You could get in here and say whatever you want about my name. People know the truth. In fact, Lady Rule was on a phone call. So any of you who know Lady Rule, she was privy to that phone call and she heard it too. In fact, she even said before everything, she was like, Yansa needs to go because she had problems working with you. That is just the factual truth. All right. So I didn't have anything to do with that. So take all that other shit somewhere else. All right. I know, Jigga, please, lies. Guess what, Yansa? If you want to get out there, I will embarrass you with the facts. I have receipts. So let's keep this pleasant and keep all your emotionalism, as you often have, to yourself. Because if you want to be in denial about it, that's you. And for those of you who know GMJ, you ask him about Yansa. See what colorful words that he will tell you about her and why he dismissed her. So moving on, I'm done with her. So let's see. I didn't say no. I told you the general said that he doesn't want you back in the chapter. Oh, he said that? Yes, he did. He dismissed you. That's all. Time to move on. Black Power. Oh, there was a few of you who said, I don't know where Tahaka is. How the fuck am I in his show and he's gone? So I'm gonna just keep on giving him some shit. So some of you have said some things about stupid people or whatever following him, this, that, and the other. You got to understand, initially, everything that was done and displayed was on the merits was great. It's just these things happen sometimes when a leader lose their way. They become punch drunk with power. They become assholes in authority, whatever. We even work on jobs where people have gotten positions of power. You and your homeboy, you and your homegirl were good. They got a position, and now all of a sudden, they done got brand new. They got a little bit of power, and now they funky with it. Like, what the fuck? So why don't you think that this can't happen with him? Why don't you think that he got a little bit of power and maybe just got a little reckless? And as he became more and more reckless, more and more people faded away. That's just what happened. Initially on the merits, it was good. That's why the droves came out, because the foundation that was initially laid was proper. But as it went on, it's like, whoa. So, I mean, people acting like, oh, everybody should have been able to see his faults from the beginning. There's some of you in relationships that you've had. This is about your 20th relationship. Why you ain't see all those faults in the beginning? Stop the bullshit. All right, let's be real here. Listen, people, I'm going to say this, and I guess I'm going to just hang up because I don't know what happened to Tahaka. You know, because the people that hit me up, text messages and all. I'm going to just say this, and then I'm probably going to conclude because this is Tahaka's show, and I guess I'm just giving them be real at this point. In fact, no doubt about it, man. I love y'all, seriously. And it's very disappointing the way we come to. But in this season of what has happened, especially what happened in Tulsa, the concentration right now should be unity. All right? It is most unfortunate what has happened with GMJ, the experiences with GMJ and stuff like that. It's disappointing. I don't hate the man. In fact, the nature of my video and everything shows just how much I love him, because I wanted him to correct this. There's a video that one of my soldiers just posted that got actually Delta and Ozone speaking, and even them at this juncture stated that all he has to do is fix it and make it right. And even they will consider some level of interaction or relationship or whatever for the movement collectively. Even them. And we know they was two of his biggest detractors. So that's all he has to do. That's all I ever wanted him to do. And right now, I just can't serve under him while he's in this state of mind. All right. I just don't trust the leadership. It's just too much deception. There you go, Tahaka. Hey, yo, I don't know. Yeah, I can hear you. What happened, bro?
Listen, I had to. you know, your boy Jay is a cloud technician. You do know that, right?
Well, he said he worked in IT. I mean, to what degree, I don't know.
Hold up. Yeah, he's a cloud technician. I lost all of my. I'm about to get somewhere where my signal is strong. Give me 1 second. Well, let me give you a strong signal. Stand by.
All right. While you do that, I'm gonna go do something. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna just go and get me a second. How y'all doing, family? Man. What I do for y'all, I gotta leave out my house at 1:27 to get me a signal to finish the show. He keeps showing us that watch. Love Queen, where you been at? Man, so family, I don't know what happened. I lost all internet service. I don't do my live stream off of, can y'all hear me? Press 1 if y'all can hear me. I don't do my live stream off of Wi-Fi. I actually do it off Ethernet. And where I live at, I can do Wi-Fi calls, but it's not going to be strong to talk on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But I can, my phone calls will work, but live stream won't work. I mean, I live in like a valley. I live in the city, but not in the inner city, right next to the inner city, if you will. But long story short, I lost all communication from my Ethernet. And I had Wi-Fi, but I didn't want to try to, so I just jumped out real quick. I lost everything, family, everything. But as I was telling Brother Desert Eagle, this is not the first time that happened. Grandmaster Jay is a cloud technician. And many people that don't watch the show, they would know that I've already revealed that. And a cloud technician can, I don't want to say, I don't like to believe in those spooky type nonsense stuff, but that was his former job. How do Grandmaster Jay make a living? You know what I'm saying? Before the donation.
Listen, I don't know.
That's just rhetorical. But yeah, that's his original profession. I mean, after the military. You follow what I'm saying? But
right.
But long story short now.
Let me say this right quick, Targa, because everybody keep asking me a text message and everything, and so it's like, what is the and pardon me for asking this question if it was part of one of the questions you had or something like that or whatever, but they keep like pretty much where am I going? What's next for me? I've been part of this.
I think you should lead your squad and do community service, and that's my opinion. But hey, who am I? But go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say this. Honestly, I definitely explained to my chapter, you know, the elements of what everything that took place, because I didn't want them to be blindsided by all of this or whatever. I mean, I'm their immediate commander. And pretty much the consensus, unanimously, damn near, except for two people that had more like, we should forgive him and stuff like that. And, you know, but they, you know, but my chapter was like, let's go. We ain't fucking with him. And I told them, y'all can't make that decision based on my experiences with him. That's not fair. But I respected what they wanted to do, and they with how they said what they wanted to do, and they was unanimous. And they're like, we ain't fucking with them. So, because of what we've been able to establish here in Georgia, I mean, we got some very powerful things going on, and I'm very proud of my chapter, and I will not abandon them. I'm a commander still, in a sense where, like I said, I'm just very good at organization. I'm just very good at organization and making things happen. We're a very resource chapter. We got a lot of resourceful members that are and various skill sets. And yes, GA lead the way. And let me put this out there too, for those who I guess will have who will watch this for the entire time, you know, because this is a long video. But I will say this. If there's anybody, and I understand you all, I do. I understand what happened with the Georgia chapter, what happened with members in the organization. If there's anyone still in the state of Georgia, because some of you have expressed that you would like to come back, but not as the way things were in the organization. Well, at this point, that's no longer a consideration that you have to belabor thinking about. So if you want to return and come on back, because we had some very, I mean, there was one sister, and I got to give her a shout out. There was one sister, and I won't say your name for protection, but she had her son and daughter with her in the organization. And I remember one day we was training in East Georgia on somebody's land, and I watched her son, and that boy was surgical with that weapon. And I was like, damn. And I was talking to her like, how long you been doing that? She's like, that's all he do. He go to the range all day, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, how long y'all been doing it? She's like, well, I've been raising them minutes. And I was like, you know what? These are the kind of people that are rock solid, that really do this. And she was a powerful person. I loved her. She was powerful leader too. But you know, things happen and people fell away. So listen, GA. We got a home for you. We got a home for you. Y'all know how to reach out. Y'all know how to get in touch. Some of y'all still got all the information. Come on through. Let's really lead the way. Let's make, and this, I'm not saying we're going to be some separate militia or anything like that or whatever. It's still, the idea is still in its development stages, and it's going to take all of you to make this thing a success, as you have. You've led the way. You've exceeded everything and every expectation, far above every other chapter. No disrespect to the other chapters. It's just that because we got more people, we can do more things. So Georgia, let's lead the way. All right. Y'all know how to get in touch. Come on home, bros. Come on home, sis. We got you. Anything else for me, Tahaka?
And brother, I appreciate you, bro, but I want you to say it right here. Can we do a follow-up maybe a week from now, brother? Just a follow-up. Maybe not this long, but a follow-up, bro. Come on, man.
What would be the premise of, and I got to say one thing to you. I got to clear something up before we.
The follow-up, man. I'm rooting for your success. Number one, I think that. I mean, I have no reason to believe that you are other than an honorable person. I have no reason to believe otherwise, you know. And I see the need for quote unquote a NFAC, but a real NFAC, a not effing around crew that ain't gonna take nothing, but in the spirit of what it's supposed to represent, it is what I'm talking about, not what we've witnessed. I mean, it's a big difference than what we witnessed, and in the spirit of what we felt it should represent, and we need that. We have a temple in Atlanta. wouldn't it be a beautiful thing? I'm not a gun man per se, wink. But wouldn't it be a beautiful thing if I could call on your expertise and your squad to say, you know, our temple is doing something and we need a security. Can we get you out to secure this event, et cetera, as opposed, you know what I'm saying? That's what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Partner up, or any type of group that is serious about uplifting people. So I'm rooting for your success. So I would love to follow up and just to see if you are moving on it or if it was just some talk for the show or whatever the case may be. I would like to follow up, basically.
Here's what I would got to say to that. In respect to what the energy of is going around, like the unity of the militias, because I know all of them didn't even get along, but they got along in order to make that happen. And everyone is definitely still excited about the successes of that coming together. Yeah, everything wasn't perfect, but it's the first fucking one. So it is nothing to measure it up against. It's just, we just got to keep going in that level of consistently being one with each other. And I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there's already some plans that are going on here in Georgia. I've already talked to a few leaders, and there's some things that's going to take place that's really going to galvanize a unity that we all want. Everybody wants it. There has not been a single movement that we have ever seen from especially Black, that the key thing in order for it to get its success is unity. That's all we need. Everybody keeps saying we need the unity, we need to unify. I don't care what movement, Martin, Malcolm, you know, Marcus, it doesn't matter. Mega Evans, everybody's saying the same shit. We need unity. So in the spirit of that, in respect to the ancestors and the energy that I see galvanizing, I don't see no problem with having discussions to see how there could be collaborative efforts in the favor of our people. You know, religious dogmas and everything aside, we're Black at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So,
people not going to put their religion aside, brother. But what
no.
Do,
but the issue that we have at,
if you got a goal and an agenda that everybody can agree on, then that's what you work towards. No one should have to put their religious principle aside, because that's what sustains a lot of people. But it's just like when you go to work. You do the job, and you go home, you take care of your family. If you are in the life of uplifting people or serving your community, you come up with a plan. You already see, you wrote out a plan and structure. You write a plan. People join for the plan. You know what I'm saying? People join for the plan, not for religion. So religion should never even be mentioned. But nobody should set it aside, because religion have made real religion, true religion, have made a lot of bad people better people. So, but I think the agenda and the plan is paramount. I don't believe Grandmaster Jay had a plan besides the plan that they gave him. I don't think they have a plan. But you write out a plan that people can agree on. It's people in this chat. It's people in this chat that rock with me. Are they Moorish American? Proclaim? Absolutely not. But we got some endeavors going on that we're working out behind the scenes, because we all on the same wavelength of where we need to go, whether it be business or whether it be social upheaval. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the plan. So bottom line is, bro, I would like to follow up with maybe a week or two to see the progress going. And I think the people that you talk to would like to follow up. I'm over at. Only thing I will probably ask you is, have you spoken with Grandmaster Jay? And if you say yeah, you say yeah. You say no, you say no. But I would like to hear about your progress more than anything, because I got people in the ATL that will secure Brother Tahaka Bay right now. Whole squad of guns. Nah, let me stop. I do though. I do have some good family in the ATL, and if you don't know them, I would definitely probably take y'all together so y'all can work out some things together. And they are in the gun community. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely in the, and I call it the gun community. What's the best word for it? Because I don't like militia. I mean, I think they gave militia the name of black eye. We need to come up with a better name, gun club or something like my brother Nick Bezel now. You know what I'm saying? In my book. You know what I mean?
Well, see, my experience with this now on the militia side, you know, want to hear from me again. My experience with this whole thing, of course, there's some pros and cons and stuff like that. But I definitely not a gun club. No, not a gun club, because I'm not a gun enthusiast. So to me, if you got something like a gun club, fishing club, something like, then your primary focus is about guns. To me, my primary focus is about the protections, the upliftment, the socioeconomic advancement, all that of my people, all the ways that we're disenfranchised. Those are the energies in all those diverse areas. So to me, it would be like an organization that is dedicated to that. And I know that's broad. And like I said, with the team that I have in Georgia, I got a think tank. My people, I love them. They are brilliant. All the members, I love them and respect them, and I love their ideas when they come with it. And then we formulate something. So it won't be something that come out of my brainchild. You know what I'm saying? It'll just be something that it'll come collectively from everybody, and then we all come together. And I like that better, because everyone has a vested interest in the furtherance in what we're doing. And usually when people have a vested interest in a part of it, they stay with it. See,
right.
like with GMJ, everything is his way. I'm the supreme, everything. So you don't have the room to really add certain things. Every now and then there's little peekaboo moments where he allow you to whatever, but for the most part, it's iron fist the whole fucking way. So it's like you don't feel connected with it. You feel kind of whatever. So I don't want that. I don't want that.
And corny slogans gotta go. Just be black. Like that means so many different things to people. Come on, man. Let's just stick with the program. You know when OC say stay on, we need to stay on code. Have the code written out so people know what to stay on. You know what I mean? Have the plan laid out. And I know that you are a type of person that if your business, you have written business plans, you would know how to formulate a plan. I think that's more important than slick slogans. I don't care what you want to call yourself, Hebrew, black boy, it don't make no difference to me, but that's not anything concrete. A plan that people can look at and stick to is something concrete.
Right. I mean, like I said, for something of that magnitude, definitely it takes the respect of allowing everybody to contribute. And yes, it has to be well thought out, well put together, and things like that. One of my biggest, I guess you could say, cheerleaders to the negative is in the chat room right now, just running her yap. But she knows she's the one who gave GMJ the manifesto of organization from the very beginning. But she's in here.
I got rid of everybody else, but I left her in there. Her name is Yanni or something like that. I left her in there.
We got to
have the higher self and the lower self.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I mean, and she's like, he didn't give me credit. He didn't mention my name, but I'm trying to protect people's names. That's the protocol that I didn't say her name, but I said there was a sister who gave my information. Did I not in the very beginning? Right. So I don't know. Okay, you want your name mentioned? Yansa. You satisfied now? You got some clout. You know what I'm saying? You got some attention. Yay, you. Anyway, moving on. But yes, you're right. We have to put that together and organize minds and stuff. I want to say this before I go, real quick to Harker. I want everybody to know. I know some people got some adverse thoughts about you and stuff like that. I don't know where they derived them from. I don't know. They haven't told me why they see you this way, why they think of you this way, whatever. I haven't had any relationship with you, experienced you with, and don't follow the channel. So I have no right or reason or no authority in truth to label you anything. I can say that from the very beginning, when I saw my face, shout out to you. You know who you are, FAB. when she showed me my face on your platform, I was like, wait a minute. You know, so, and I reached out to you, and you have been nothing but respectful and cordial. And, you know, so I don't know what anybody else have seen, heard, or experienced, but I know that this whole process, even the way that we conducted the video, you allowed me to lay out the framework from which we did. You respected that too. So for all those, I don't know, maybe that's why even them, the K Falls, the Talib, and even Ozone was initially had some issue with you. They've come back on the show and you've had great interviews with them. So it's clear that it's not what people have been told to believe. At least for me, I don't see what others have been saying. So
ain't no daggone teacup.
I haven't seen it. So whether or not they think you fed this, that, and the other, like I said, me and you are not talking right now for this duration of time because you did an investigation on me. You were given my information from the very organization that's supposed to protect me. So yeah, they can say whatever they want, but they gave it. And that came from the command structure. The first one with the phone call with Miss Rose, that came from a random commander because GMJ didn't even know about the call. He didn't even know about it. So that came from the commanders. And then this time, it was him who fucked up. So that's just a fact, in fact. So, I mean, you can be upset, but you just gotta take responsibility. The organization fucked up, period. I mean, that's just the truth. Y'all can be mad. Fuck Tahaka. He's trying to destroy us. No, you gave him. And I'm gonna say something else. During our video call, Tahaka said this. He said, if GMJ would just go ahead and tell the truth and stuff like that, he said, I'd be done. He said he would take all my power away. He literally said, he said, there's nothing else that I can do. He done wipe me out. There's nothing else I would have left. The general has had those opportunities. He evades them at every instance. There's an inability that he has to face his demons, to face his truths. We've seen that. There's no denial. Yes, we loved him through that. But at this point, it has reached a place where it's either all or nothing. And to you, GMJ, I say this directly to you. Bro, you know I love you. You and I know the conversations even that have not been even discussed on this platform that nobody else know about your calling, your anointing, the facts over feelings, to all of that. You know those conversations that we've had in brotherly love. So for you to paint any other kind of narrative about me, to disrespect my name and disrespect my labor of service in this organization, I ain't got to tell you, you will have to deal with those judgments on your own. But what I will say this is, the fact that this conversation is being had, the fact that so many people tuned in and got so many opinions and this, that, and the other, you know what that means? According to the way you and I believe, that means the Most High is still working on you. That means it's still an opportunity for you to make things right, but it will cost you. So here's my thing to you, brother. The moment you decide to bare your soul, the people will bare their arms. So until you do that, I'm telling you, what you have amongst you, in fact, USA is dead. Trust me on this one. I bullshit you not. They may not tell you. I'm telling you. In fact, USA is dead. You know it. You can't go to sleep and wake up in the morning and get on a commander's call and have faith in any kind of delegation that you're going to render, because you will always be wondering who's going to sell me out next. I'm telling you, it's dead. 3 commanders have told me they're not fucking with you no more, and they wanted me to lead them, or they will fall in line with my leadership in Georgia. 3 that are sitting right the fuck there now. You don't have to believe it. It'll come out. You watch. I say that to you.
So, I'm messing with you. So, brother, I appreciate you. It's 1:51 on the East Coast, family. I didn't expect it to go this long. I'm glad that you were able to go this long. So I thank you and your family for tolerating Morse World TV since 10 o'clock tonight. And I hope my fans forgive me for going this long. But I appreciate you, brother. And I definitely will be following up with you behind the scenes. Hopefully that we can follow up and give people an update as to what's going on with you. All right?
All right. GA lead the way. Georgia chapter, I love y'all. I saw y'all comments, got the text messages, saw y'all hit it up. For those of you who rode this long, I appreciate you. Thank you for your continued service. And to Harker, I say this publicly, thank you for being a true gentleman about the way you went about this whole thing and showing me the respects that I deserve and giving me an opportunity to represent myself. Peace, King.
Indeed, brother. I can appreciate you, brother, and I do appreciate you. Appreciate you, fam. Peace. So I just wanted to say, man, I think that brother did a phenomenal job. Whether you like what he said, whether you agree with him, whether you got doubt with him, I think the brother was straightforward. I think, in reality, I don't play that car's coming behind me. Hold up. In reality, we don't, one second. In reality, we don't know how real somebody is going to be. I think the brother came off pretty genuine. And nothing changed from his story from what we talked about offline and to what we just talked about. So I think the brother is definitely genuine. I don't think he's disingenuous. So salute to the brother. And I got to get back to the crib now. I'm out here. I was searching for a signal. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere in the city trying to make my way back. But I appreciate y'all, family. I got to put my phone down so I can pick up my other phone. Appreciate you, family. Enjoy your night.
I feel that more you gon' remember. I feel that more you gon' remember. Be more. I feel that more you gon' remember. That time. I feel that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I feel that more you gon' remember. LA. I feel that more you gon' remember. New York. I feel that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number.